cash sit in a savings or money market account when you can get 7% with Legacy's Opportunity Fund and join the over 800 local investors with over $200 million invested.
Act now to receive Legacy's Opportunity Fund one-time offer of 7% on short-term cash. Visit Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. Legacy Family of Funds investments are available to accredited investors only. 7% APR is current rate for the Legacy Group Capital Opportunity Fund. Terms and conditions at LegacyG.com.
Buy a heat pump, get a furnace free. Now from Deere Services. You heard right. Buy a new heat pump, get a new furnace free from Deere Services. Save now and combine the year-round benefits and comforts of both systems, giving you warm winters and cool summers. Make an appointment at DEARservices.net, and we'll be there within 3 hours, guaranteed. And get this, no service fees. Buy a new heat pump, get a new furnace free now at Deere Services. Seattle Seahawks Small Business Partners.
Fall is near and it's time to break the huddle by taking advantage of Toyota of Kirkland's lifetime powertrain warranty. With a roster of over 70 Tundras and Tacomas, come scout the phenomenal team at Toyota of Kirkland. They'll pass you the keys so you can test drive your vehicle and take it to the house that same day. Big-time players make big-time plays at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit them today at their incredible showroom or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. 911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew House of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
He's going to go down! But Leonard Williams just drove his man back, just what the doctor ordered.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Seahawks improved to a 2-0 start to the season after kicking a field goal in overtime to beat the Patriots on the road. It's the first road win of Mike McDonald's career. McDonald and Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh are now the only two new head coaches to start the season 2-0. Gino Smith stole the show in this one. He was 33 for 44 with a couple drops in a game that saw him finish with a career high in completions.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacey Ross.
Here we go now.
The Seahawks are 2-0.
No, cut it. We got something to do, baby.
No, we don't. We don't.
Play that fight song, baby.
You didn't tell me you had the fight song, man.
This is me. I was quiet all weekend. I didn't get on social media bragging. I was at the Pac-12 Network doing my thing, working. And you know what? We got it done, baby. Y'all didn't want to play this game because you knew we probably could get you. You knew we could get you. Mateer, the most mobile quarterback in all the land, 3-0. We got a real shot for the college football playoff right now, baby. Holla at your boy. Doves down.
We don't.
I was humble. I was quiet. I had to come in hot. UW played a great game. You guys messed up. Lots of miscommunication. Didn't take care of the ball. I don't know what y'all was doing on the goal line. But you know what? It's our turn. Big Ten. Wrong Big Ten. Mateer Big Ten. Y'all can go to the Big Ten. Mateer's Big Ten. Let's get it. Holla at me on the text lines. I know y'all coming for me. Oh, bum. But if this and that. I don't care. No ifs. Ain't no ifs. We got that thing. Mario Bailey. What's up, baby? Jordan Reffett. What it do, baby? Let's go.
Bumper texted me yesterday to have the fight song ready
I'm so
at the start of the show.
That for real.
It's funny because Stacey had all this stuff planned for the start of the show, and Bump and I just gave each other a look like, yep, we're doing it.
I am so mad at you guys because I already know now that in the sports pit when we were there for an hour and a half before the show that you guys were talking trash, looking at each other behind me as I was like, so I'm thinking this for the open, this for the open, this for the open.
It was unspoken.
I texted him. I go, yeah, scratch all that stuff she said.
I hate you guys. All right. Well, I actually, it didn't feel good to watch that. I was watching this. I was at a Gene Juarez, and I was sitting in the lobby, and I was watching it on my phone, and it was almost like an ad for Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Where it stops right before the play. Right before this, I'm not kidding. They line up. They're in formation, about to snap the ball, and I start getting the little circle, the little golden circle that's going in a row. And I go, well, what happens? What happens? Oh, my God, what happens? And when I tell you it's the most anticlimactic thing I ever, after waiting, edge of my seat, like staring at my phone, finally I see the play and I go, that's it? That's what it was?
I was so confused. I was so confused about that play call, man. As soon as Will Rogers took one step to the right, I diagnosed the play and I go, oh, that's shut down. The blocking ain't right. There's no space over there. I was surprised. If I were them, I would have done it to the field side and had an option to throw at the same time. I thought they were going to leak a tight end into the end zone. I thought chances of us winning that game at that point were slim, in my opinion, until I saw the ball snap.
There's a lot to talk about with this game overall. Obviously, John Mateer with 3 combined touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns on 16 carries and 62 yards. A great performance by him. I want to talk about the final play. This is by far for me, and I'm sure for Cougs and Huskies fans, the most interesting, fascinating, or heartbreaking, depending on how you look at it, play of the game. So let's actually talk about it. While it pains me, this was the final call.
Here's the snap. Rodgers rolls out to his right, looking to pitch it. He does the last second. The Cougs get the stop. The Cougs get the stop. Shy of the first down and getting into the end zone. Washington State with the stop. Cougs take over.
Okay. So, first, why Jedd Fisch made the decision. This is from Fisch.
We had it all week long. We felt that that was going to be our gotta-have-it call if we ever needed one for a yard. We wound up, looks like on tape or from the quick screen that I saw, that we didn't block it properly. We had a different call on. We called a timeout that I didn't like the look that we had, so we changed the call into that one. Probably should have just let it ride the first time through and see what it would have looked like. But I guess if you throw it incomplete, then you should have ran it. If you run it and you don't get it, you should have thrown it. That was the call we had against that front, and we got to do a better job of blocking it and executing, but clearly it didn't work.
Wazoo head coach Jake Dickert then said they made a call that we wanted them to make. So now, Bump, I'm throwing it your way. With the idea in mind that people are going to need to kind of visualize it, what happened? What did Jake Dickert want Jedd Fisch to do? What did Jedd Fisch do, and what went wrong?
It was a numbers game in the box. This is how at least I diagnose it. I think that They saw the overload to the right. Okay, so you got a tight end to the left of Will Rogers. They got a bunch formation over there as well. You count the guys in the box. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and with that tight formation, you just bring more guys into play, right? So what they do is they put the running back on the right side, and they're going to run this option. I think where they messed up, you talk about Fish kind of diagnosing play and saying we blocked it wrong, is when you run an option, you leave someone unblocked to option off of. They didn't do that. In my opinion, I thought they were going to leave the last guy on the line of scrimmage unblocked, number 0. But you look at the tight end that's to the right side, he looks confused. He's looking to his left side to his tackle, and he's not sure of his assignment. So they don't leave anyone unblocked. So what happened is you block the guy on the line of scrimmage, the edge rusher, then you get up to the second level on 32 as a linebacker or safety, and you leave 52 unblocked. You're not optioning the middle linebacker down here into the boundary. You want to leave the edge open so he makes a decision for you. If the edge crashes down on the quarterback, you option to the running back. If he crashes down the running back, then the quarterback is open to run. Somebody was supposed to climb to that second level and get Thornton in the middle, our middle linebacker right there. So you have a clear path no matter what you do. I think it was just poorly executed, and I think that running that to the boundary was just a bad decision overall. That's why you practice these situations late, and I'm sure Fish was extremely frustrated because he says that was their go-to play. And if this is your go-to play and you block it incorrectly, you're extremely frustrated.
Why is this your go-to play? Like, that's the other now, if I'm Jed Fish, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that it's blocked incorrectly, and I'm thinking naturally, well, if that only would have been executed correctly, maybe it would have worked because we knew we wanted to do this in this situation. We got to it, we got the numbers we liked, we did whatever, and we blocked it wrong. Sure. Why that play?
I don't know.
Like, that's where I'm stumped.
I would have left the other quarterback in if you're going to run it, and I would have ran it to the field and give a passing option as well down there, because you know that Wazoo was going to react to everything you're doing in that backfield. You slip somebody out in the end zone, so there's nothing there, boom, you pop it over the top. If you're going to show that, right, and block it the way that they blocked it, which it sounds like they blocked it incorrectly, you show that, you give the same motion, and you leak someone in the backfield or in the back of the end zone, and you'll be wide open because our middle linebacker Thornton reacted quickly to that. So it was a poor call, I think. It wasn't executed correctly. And but it sounds like they had a plan, though. That's one thing I can respect. In all jokes aside, like UW, it's number love, but I got to talk a little bit. I usually don't talk that much, but I gotta talk. But all jokes aside, this was his go-to play. They felt comfortable with this. They practice this every single day during the week or even before this. They say, look, if we get into this situation, this is what we're going to run. I don't understand why. I want to, in this situation, last play of the game, you want to give yourself as many options as possible. I'm all for rolling the quarterback out of the pocket because it buys you some time down here, having the speed option ready to go, but you have to have a throwing option as well and running it into the boundary. I just didn't understand that.
In Two Bumps' point about that being Jed Fish's go-to play, he ran that exact play last year in Arizona's loss to USC. On the goal line with a chance to tie the game, and they get stuffed. And you got to throw that play out. I mean, twice now you have cost yourself in the span of a year running that exact same goal line play. I mean, sure, maybe it works in practice, but teams are expecting it now.
Yeah, and then it's deeper than that. Just one play. One play hardly ever decides the game. Obviously, it looks like that, but I mean, UW was horrible on third downs. They were 4 for 13. 16 penalties for 135 yards. It's so hard to overcome something like that. There was an interception that was called back. It could have gone both ways. There are some things that happened in this game, which typically happens in rivalry games. You never look at a rivalry game unless it's a blowout and just say, oh, it was clean, it was perfect. No, things happen, especially when you're dealing with 18 and 23-year-olds in an emotional game like this. So, yeah, the Cougs got lucky in some areas, but also capitalized in other areas. And Washington did not have their best game when it comes to discipline. That was just the least disciplined team I've ever seen out of UW. 16
penalties, and I got to say, and that's on coaching too. When you get that many penalties, that's on coaching. I know it's execution, the players are the ones drawing it, but when you do not have a disciplined team, it is your responsibility to make sure your team is disciplined. Right. I understand it's week 3, you're still ironing out. It's a brand new team, everyone's learning to play together. The context makes it far more forgivable, but the context is also what I found myself using to cope. I was in peak cope mode on Saturday, let me tell you. I was for real driving home from this appointment after the game going, They got a lot of players who don't know about the Apple Cup. Literally, when you drive and you don't have any music playing, and all of a sudden you find yourself home and you go, wow, I didn't even turn on the radio. I didn't play a podcast. I was just thinking. That's what I was doing. I was just driving home and I was going, they don't really understand the rivalry in the same way. The Cougs are bringing passion. Jake Dickert has passion. He went and he had someone get cigars for the entire coaching staff for when they won because he knew that they wanted to celebrate this. And, maybe the players on Washington just didn't quite understand. And then I finally got home and I went, you know what? They didn't execute. They weren't disciplined. They didn't execute. I did not love the play call. And they took a timeout. They took a timeout to decide that was the move they wanted to run. Jed Fish not blowing me away with that one.
No, and they'll watch this film, and I think UW has an opportunity to bounce back. Obviously, their schedule moving forward is a lot tougher than WSU's. I think, and I also think that's why this was such a big win for WSU, because you have a legit chance to rack off some wins now. It's not going to be easy for us, and it's not going to be easy for UW, but it's just the penalties alone, man. It was the penalties, play calls late, and the tackling for these guys as well. I mean, Mateer's an extremely mobile quarterback, but there were some angles I'm watching film. UW took some horrible angles, but also Mateer creates those angles and influence those guys that takes those angles. So, yeah, overall, it was a frustrating game on both sides at some point, and that's how football games are and rivalry games are. It's poetic that it ended like that. It was a 4th and goal, and the Cougs got the win this time. It was a 4th and 1 last year where UW got the win. That's how rivalry games are supposed to end.
UW's call last year, way cooler. I found myself wondering, man, Ryan Grubb would just be shaking his head in disgust right now.
He probably was.
He was probably, I would never do that. This is so stupid. I just didn't, Bump, I was already coming in feeling a little down. I did not expect to start our show with such betrayal. You and Curtis being in cahoots. And I'm counting in Matt. Matt, you were in this too. This is you too.
Oh, I wanted on the record. I was not.
Matt,
it was just
Husky.
a surprise.
Yeah, Matt's a Husky. Bump's a Coug, and I'm a Jed Fish hater. So the result on Saturday could not have worked better for the both of us.
I'm devastated, but also that was really funny. And for anyone who wasn't watching the stream, yes, Bump was standing up. Bump stood up for the open to say
I was a lot
everything.
held up because that's not my game. I don't talk a lot of trash. I don't do that. But the text messages I was getting before that game, I looked at my phone, there was 60 text messages. All my UW homies talking all this stuff, and I kept it cool. I didn't say nothing. I'm all right, cool, man. Let's play the game. So I held it in, and I'm sorry I had to release it here on the Bump and Stacy show, but it was only right.
We understand. The Seattle Seahawks are coming back home, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks take on the Miami Dolphins in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Tuesday, September 17th. That is tomorrow. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Mariners took 3 of 4 from Texas and now sit just 2.5 back in the AL wildcard race. What's the real headline?
What if this is too little too late?
Yeah, it's almost like that one song. It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
Oh, I was thinking in JoJo. It's just too little too late.
Same vibe. Same message, right? It might be. It's the tiebreaker that really hurts these guys, right? With the Twins.
Yeah.
That's what really hurts these guys. You need the Twins to continue to collapse, which it looks like they've been doing as of late. But you gotta take care of business. But this is typical Mariners, right? You do enough, you keep fighting, you put up 7 runs, you put up 5, you put up another 5. I'm interested. I'm still paying attention, as all of you should, but you know who they got coming up. You are playing the New York Yankees, and you know the firepower that they have. But big ups George Kirby, man. Another great performance. He's finally rewarded with a win in one of these. So we'll see.
It's a Mariners off day today. That Yankee series Bump talked about begins tomorrow. Instead, extra innings is tonight from 7 to 9. Curtis, what do you have coming up?
Oh, we've got Mike Lefko for the best segment in radio on a Mariners off day at 7:15 p.m. And then Charlie Furbush joining at 8 o'clock.
Nice. A little preview, obviously, of this upcoming series and talking about kind of the final couple weeks here of the season. I'll say I find myself, Bump, kind of not one-footed, 1 foot out, but simultaneously rooting for wins, enjoying wins when they happen, really tracking the progress of Julio and hoping that he can turn back on because that's so important even if they obviously don't make the playoffs. And also thinking about how important this offseason is and really, really hoping that there is maybe a different approach, maybe a more aggressive approach, and maybe we see big trades, maybe we see big signings, whatever it is, you need to take advantage of this. Like, it's done. Like, there's no more like we're building and now we're in year 4 of a rebuild. No, you're done.
Yeah, it's
pedal to the metal.
It's we just unfortunately it's almost like we can almost guarantee we're going to be left with the same feeling. Like, oh, that just wasn't enough. Okay, give us hope. What are you going to do to help this situation? And we just got to wait and see.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Rams were blown out by the Cardinals 41-10 and could be without Cooper Kupp in addition to Puka Nacua already being on IR. What's the real headline?
Look, I don't root for injuries, but I am cool with them.
I am cool with it. Big ups to the Arizona Cardinals, though, man. You lose to the Bills in Buffalo, 34-28, and then you come out here and you feature your top receiver. And I think people, if you didn't believe the hype now, I think you should. Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 for 130, and Kyler Murray looking explosive in the run game, taking care of the football. I understand that the Rams are banged up and they're not the same team anymore, but I'm looking at the NFC West. Man, it looks different. You got the Seahawks and the Cardinals at top of the division right now. The 49ers lost to Minnesota. Big up Sam Darnold. Things are changing, but it's early. It's so early in the football season. We've seen the Rams be 3-3, and we're kind of counting them out. Then they rack off a bunch of wins and make the playoffs. So, but if Puka and Cooper Kupp are not healthy, it's not looking good for this team.
The Arizona Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints, the only 2 teams to drop more than 40 this weekend, which, of course, dropping 40 points in an NFL game is exceptionally difficult. Both of them played, though, really good opponents, with New Orleans facing off against the Cowboys and the Cardinals, obviously, as Bump said, facing off against the Rams, who just scored 10 against them. Rams with an 0-2 start to the season, Dallas 1-1. New Orleans and Arizona, impressive feats, but we will talk about it as we get to NFL headlines. New Orleans is 2-0 to start the season and dropped 40 points in either of those games. They have scored on 16 of 21 drives.
Hey, explosive.
It's crazy.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Cougs stuffed UW at the goal line on their final play to win the 2024 Apple Cup. What's the real headline?
Yeah, just know in the future when I text you speed option to the short side, it means I'm feeling way too confident and I'm about to make a bad decision.
Man, I really can't believe that was the call down there. And then even if they do block it correctly, I think you do have a chance, but there's just so little space, man. You want to run that speed option to the field and give yourself a chance. And then you have to know this is the last play of the game. You gotta give yourself a third out option. Again, leak a tight end into the end zone. But like Curtis said, this isn't the first time that Fish has ran that play. I'm throwing it away if I'm him, man. Throw it away. But there's enough there at UW for them to be competitive, though, in the Big Ten. Like, real talk. You see that there's enough there if they're this disciplined. So, yeah, I was scratching my head. Legit, he took one step, and I saw that no one was unblocked. They're not optioning anybody. I go, this is stuff. There's no tight end leaking. I've never diagnosed a play so fast in my life. Within 1 second, I knew that I was going to get stuffed.
Again, with Jed Fish, I'm still feeling out the new head coach and figuring out what I feel about him. Obviously, my perception shaded a little bit by Curtis's own perception as an Arizona alum of Jed Fish. So that's obviously coloring that. But him saying post-game, I wish we would have blocked it differently. Yeah, I'm not mad at a head. It's not like he's throwing his players under the bus. It wasn't blocked correctly.
Right.
It was not executed correctly. Like, you went over the tape with me. You're right. I hope, though, what I hate when it comes to ownership, front offices, head coaches, whatever, is when there is a complete lack of accountability and a complete kind of stubbornness. What I hope with Jed Fish is he didn't look at that and think, like, I made the definitive right call.
There's no way he can. If he does look at it that way, then he's not going to have a lot of success, because that's all football is. Sports in general is just making the proper adjustments. And and coaching your team up. Like if your guys are not executing in that moment and that's your go-to play, then what's the communication and the teaching like on your end and your staff's end? You got to make sure your guys are ready to go. Your go-to play, and this is just me being a coach in high school, your go-to play, we rep it and rep it and rep it. When I was down in the goal line, we used to go Trish right 2-point wide corner, and we repped it and repped it and repped it until we couldn't get it wrong. So they gotta fix some things, but there's some potential there. I mean, all jokes aside, again, I got number love for you, Dub. Only once a week I don't rock with y'all. You see some potential there, and I think you see some potential with WSU as well.
All right, we have some heavy Seahawks stuff coming your way. Obviously, we're talking about a 2-0 start to the season, number 1 in the NFC West. I don't care if it's 2 games in. I'm going to start saying first place in the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks. The latest from Mike McDonald in an exclusive interview with Brock and Salk this morning. That's coming up at 10:45. We're going to go over the plays of the game. We are not done with the Mariners, though, nor are we done with the Apple Cup. Seattle Times, Mike Verell is going to join us at 12:30. We're opening up the phone lines for your calls. I think we're going to go Seahawks with this one, though. At 1 p.m. Mondays and Fridays, we will be opening up phone lines for you guys. It's all coming your way next.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
And I just shot the gap, skinnied up, got my hands up, got a block.
Charbonnet gets the handoff, and he's going to dive in. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Just felt good to win. I think the past 2 weeks we've really shown how close of a team we are when battling adversity. So, I mean, we only going to get stronger.
Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game!
We are the home of the Seahawks.
For over 111 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington. From the Space Needle in Seattle and now all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist you with any lighting issue, as well as help with intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting expert since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
By the time this radio ad ends, another vehicle will be stolen somewhere in the United States. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep yourself and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with with brilliant luster that is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-495-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-800-495-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
This is Seattle Sports.
DK wide open. 10, 5, strides in, touchdown, Seahawks.
The home of the Seahawks. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Safety Julian Love had one of the biggest plays of the game in the Seahawks win over the Patriots yesterday when he blocked New England kicker Joey Sly's field goal attempt with just under 4 minutes remaining. He broke down what he saw in that play post-game.
In that moment, I just feel like I got to go get it. I felt good. I was looking at my guys. Obviously, it was a long drive. They were tired. But I felt energized in that moment. And just something just told me to switch. If anybody's going to do it, I feel like I should be doing it. And so, thankfully, Reek was coming off the edge all day. Dre, Mont Jones had great pressure inside. Our interior was getting after. We were close a few times. And so, something just said, hey, I'm going to be able to come loose and just jump the thing. And so, I did.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
You're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that works, and you want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parango and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, they were recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. If you qualify, get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. AdvancedHair.com.
Hey everybody, Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home, and what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
If you watched this Seahawks game and you didn't come away feeling impressed with Gino Smith, I regret to inform you, you were actually watching a completely different game. Like you a hater. I don't know if you were watching, a Dak Prescott with the Cowboys throw 2 interceptions. I don't know if you were maybe watching, San Francisco fall to Minnesota. Maybe you were watching the Colts. Maybe you had an eye on Jared Goff when they fell to Tampa Bay. I don't know what you were watching, but it was not Gino Smith and the Seahawks, because Gino Smith came away with this one bump, 33 of 44. That includes some drops, at least 4, with 305 drops, 327, 1 touchdown, a career high in completions at 33, and ties a career high in attempts. This game was won in large part because of Gino Smith. Now, that's not to take away from other things, but phenomenal performance.
It's always a team effort, of course, right? But when you're not able to run the football, which the Hawks could not do, the offensive line, as Big Ray described it, was just overwhelmed and weren't aware, right? They rushed the ball 19 times for 46 yards. When you are being stuffed at the line of scrimmage, you have to lean on your quarterback, and that is Gino Smith. Like you mentioned, 33 of 44, 327 yards. There was one suspect throw, and that was early. He steps up in the pocket. He gets hit in the elbow, and he tries to hit it downfield. Yep. If the DB does not bat it down, it's probably intercepted.
When Pepper's back, yeah.
It's probably intercepted if he doesn't bat it down. So he got lucky right there. But after that, I mean, it was Gino sliding in the pocket, getting outside, buying himself some time. If he didn't have those 5 drops and those receivers, and they were drops, like wide open, you should catch this football. If he doesn't have those, so yeah, Gino, and then it came down to the last drive. And this was crazy because I remember having the feeling when Russell Wilson had the ball late in the game, you felt like in his prime, you felt like they're going to get down there and score. When Gino had the ball, I felt the same way. I go, he did this last year. Had 5 of these last year, led the NFL when it came to that. This is what Gino does, is get him in the field goal position, and they'll be fine. So, Gino isn't the only reason why they won this game. I think the defense had their moments where they needed some big stops, and they stepped up. Obviously, giving up 185 on the ground ain't good. It's a team win. Myers had 3 field goals at the game winner at the end of the day. No one man ever wins a football game, but Gino had the biggest influence.
About Gino Smith throwing it about as well as anyone. Let's talk about those actual numbers. Gino Smith is a top 5 right now in quarterback rating. Wildly, Derek Carr leading that group. That's not to take away from what Gino did. It's just to say it's kind of a surprising group at the top, with the Saints offense being the most prolific so far through 2 weeks. But Gino is top 5, top 7 in almost every single category. And look, that drive especially, to push it to, tie it late, to get to overtime, was decisive. He had just great passes, especially over the middle, just some bullets there. Like, he truly was meeting the moment.
It seemed like he was comfortable and on time. Like, he knew what he was looking at. He knew what needed to be done, and he didn't really force anything. There were a couple plays earlier in the game. Jason dropped one on the sideline. There was another dig that a safety broke up, but I mean, those plays are going to happen throughout a game for a quarterback. I've rarely seen a quarterback. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback go like 30 of 30, 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and have a perfect game. Things are going to happen. And I think the stress that he was under as well. He was sacked 3 times, but he was hit 7 or 8 times. The pocket wasn't clean often, and he had to use his feet and use his base. And the offensive line is going to get a lot of grief, right? Because you weren't able to run the football. The protection was okay, but it could have been better. But I think that when you have a quarterback like Gino, he can make up for some of that. Like, the offensive line has to get better. They have to get better in their pass pro. You have to be able to create lanes for Zach Charbonnet. But in the meantime, it's almost like Gino can hold it down for now. You got another week with the Dolphins, and then the Lions come in. Hutchinson had like 3 sacks in the first quarter last game.
Lead and pressures last
game. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, right? Gino can hold it down for now, but this team has to get better on that offensive line. And Gino just showed that he's clutch, man. He's so calm, too. He doesn't look stressed out or worried about anything.
Let's revisit some of the analysis that people had of Gino Smith to begin the year, and then compare it with, I don't want to say how we're feeling after 2 weeks, but maybe what Gino has shown people, because I don't think the way you or I feel about Gino has changed at all. But I'm glad that you mentioned the rushing game. I'm glad that you mentioned the offensive line, because among the tiers that Mike Sando's column had, and it wasn't Mike Sando's ranking. I really enjoy reading his rankings every year. It was based on feedback from the rest of the league, front office personnel, coaches, etc. The tier in which Gino found himself was in guys that need more around them. They need a good defense. They need a good run game in order to get this done. Last time I checked, this team had 46 net yards on the ground in this game. This was a very flat offense.
The Patriots forced the Seahawks to be one-dimensional. Everyone knew that Gino was going to have to be dang near perfect to win this ball game, and he was exactly that. Now, he does have some help. DK went off, 128 yards, I believe, on 10 receptions. The JSN did his thing, 12 receptions, 117. Tyler Lockett, and let's not forget Tyler Lockett, look, only had 2 receptions. He had 2 big pass interference that he drew, and then he has that play at the end of the game.
It's truly a rare ability.
Yeah, like guys need help. Everyone needs help. If you look across the league, we talk about Derek Carr with the highest QBR. Who's on his team? You got Kamara. You got Olave over there. Everybody needs help. That's why you're looking at the Chiefs right now and how they barely snuck by the Bengals. Patrick Mahomes needs help. He's not... through 2 games, not playing up to the standard that we're used to seeing. So to describe Gino as that, I'm like, everybody needs help when it comes to executing an offense. And it really starts with the big boys up front. If that does not change, then it's going to get harder and harder for Gino. And it's it's almost unfair to expect him to win games like that every single week. You can't do that in the NFL.
Well, and to your point about Patrick Mahomes not playing up to standards right now that people have, I want to say 2 years ago, it was when they first were getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire involved, so maybe 2 years ago. But one of the things that both Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were saying is, hey, we're known as this offense that like throws the ball a ton and scores 30 points a game, but like we really need to get our run going. And when it got going, they were like, this was part of one of the things that unlocked our offense. And I feel like as analysts and fans, we kind of disregard the run and we throw it away and we just, I'm not speaking about everyone.
Right.
But we tend to just look at 30 points a game is fun. You know, a 56-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf was one of the most fun plays of the game. A lot more fun than a 9-yard run from Zach Charbonnet. No offense to Zach Charbonnet, but as a fan, you typically love those big plays. You need the run to unlock things. Coaches constantly stand by that. Players constantly stand by that. This team will need that. You cannot get by playing the same game you played Sunday over and over and over again.
Yeah, you need the run game to be explosive. I mean, and it was week 1, right? Kenneth Walker rushed for over 100 yards as a group, I think 120 or something like that, and that kind of opened everything else up. This week was a bit different. The run game wasn't opened up. The defense did struggle against the run, so now the pass game had to take over. And I think week by week you're met with different challenges, and it's how do we correct these things? How do you get the run going when Zach Charbonnet is back there, or maybe Kenny McIntosh? I don't know why we haven't seen that young man yet. Maybe he has issues in pass pro. I know that Zach Charbonnet is great in the pass pro. Yeah, you're going to have to figure things out, but you're also going to have to win games like this when the run ain't working. You're going to have to win games when the pass isn't working, lean on the run. There are so many different ways to win a ball game, but later on in the season or even in the next couple of weeks, you would like to see more of a balanced type of performance.
All right, you guys, we are going to stick with the Seahawks here. We've got the latest from Mike McDonald, who was on with Brock and Salk this morning for the Mike McDonald Show, an exclusive interview with Seattle Sports. We're going to play you some highlights from that. And then we're going to take a look at the plays of the game, figure out where this thing started to really turn for Seattle and who was behind some of the biggest moments, maybe who's not getting enough love. It's all coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Gino did not have one off-target throw in 44 throws. And did that not look, honest to goodness, did that not look like Michael Penix throwing to Rome Odunze and throwing to Jalen McMillan and throwing to anybody at any time in any place on the field? And that's what the Huskies did.
But obviously there's a clear through line there of Ryan Grubb and what he does to scheme these players open and allow his quarterbacks to throw the ball to guys who are wide open or in one-on-ones.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about football. Have fun, but be responsible on game day. Even if it's on your best friend's 100-inch 4K UDR and surround sound 5.1. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, a designated driver needs to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after a few too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe on game day.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about Google. It's so important, it's a verb. Google it. Then check out our hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. They ended my case with such favorable results that even the judge was surprised. Give yourself the absolute best chance of staying out of jail and give Bradley Johnson a call. I contacted other firms with no call back. I then called Bradley Johnson and scheduled a meeting immediately. Google us.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story.
We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2024 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 20th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 20th at woiseattle.org.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
The home of the Seahawks.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work?
Can you have both?
If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both.
That's right. I'm Anthony with Asset Roofing, and we've replaced thousands of Western Washington roofs. We've replaced all types of roofs, both residential and commercial. We want to help local homeowners replace their roof before winter.
I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. I was impressed by their communication and knowledge. Their quality work and attention to detail made for a very pleasant experience.
I'm pleased to hear that. We strive to deliver a quality, long-lasting roof replacement you can trust and an experience that will give you peace of mind.
Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at assetroofingco.com. That's assetroofingco.com. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
If you guys saw a video the Seahawks posted of Mike McDonald handing out his game balls, you would know that a recipient of one of them was offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Mike McDonald was on with Brock and Salk this morning as part of the exclusive interview, Mike McDonald Show, and explained why.
Man, I thought we had a great plan going in, and then we were able to adjust as the game went on. I still felt like he stayed really aggressive, and I mean, this isn't a shot. It was more as a, hey, accept this on behalf of the offense. I mean, you go back. I mean, you can just rattle. I mean, Gino played a tremendous. Watching the tape again, I thought he played a tremendous game. DK had a great game. Jackson had a great game. I mean, you can just kind of go down the list. So it's kind of hard to give one game ball out. So I felt like it was offensive line protected well for the most part. I mean, there's some things we gotta look at, but there's a lot of good going around. We kind of felt like we were the aggressor throughout the course of the game. So, and then just to finish it off the way that we did offensively, I thought it, was well earned on his part.
One of my wishes for this game, Bump, was that we wouldn't be having the exact same conversation. I did not want to enter into this Monday going, Yeah, really, really horrible first half offensively, and the defense looks solid, but you got to get the offensive line going. Like, yeah, there are things. We critiqued the run game and wanting to see Ken Walker get back out there and knowing that interior line play has to improve, but this was a much better game offensively. By no small margin. Your pass game absolutely took off, and we have something new to talk about now.
Yeah, I think Grubb did a great job of attacking the soft spots of the zone. There are some times where they're lining up and pre-snap, I'm saying, you're 8 yards off of DK, just run a hitch. You see Gino walk to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he's making an adjustment. Maybe it's a dummy call. Maybe Grubb has the call in already, and they throw the hitch and let Gino do his thing. Mm-hmm. Also, they realize that JSN is great at working laterally. I think they're starting to figure out his strengths. And working laterally, like starting from the slot, running to the sideline, finding space. Starting on the right side of the field, working across the middle of the field, and finding space. I think that's where he is at his best. When the Patriots line up in any type of zone defense, the receivers – well, let me give Grubb some credit. Grubb put the receivers in positions to succeed. Gino has to throw. They have to catch the football. I think they struggled a little bit in man. There's still some things that I feel JSN has to learn about the NFL when it comes to man coverage. At Ohio State, he was just running by fools. Like now in the NFL, I saw him, they tried to throw a slot fade to him. We call it a spray route from the slot, and he did absolutely nothing to affect the DB. He just tries to run by him. And I told Ray and the gang, I go, it's NFL. Unless you are running a 4-2, you're not just going to be able to run past guys like that. So he's developing there, even though he had a great game, right? So it's I credit Grubb for finding the soft spots in the zone, and I also credit him for running the ball just enough. It was only 19 carries, right? But ran it just enough to where he didn't completely abandon the run. He knew what he had to lean on. He said, look, this is the type of game we have today. The line's not creating these gaps. Charbonnet's probably not seeing it or feeling it right now. We just have to continue to be a threat in the run, and that'll open up some pass plays. And that's what he did. So credit Grubb for keeping his composure and changing his play calling to what the game was. Last week, it was you have to run this football to get things going. He does exactly that. This week, it was early. You figured out we're not going to have the same explosive plays with Zach Charbonnet in this offensive line than you had with Ken Walker. And that's no knock to Zach and the O-line. They just got to work on some things. So that's
felt as though, you watched Grubb at Washington, obviously, and you had an idea of some of the things that he would be bringing with him. Obviously, DK Metcalf busting off a 56-yard touchdown on blown coverage isn't like some amazing design play. Like, part of that's luck and fortune going your way and then a player taking advantage of it. But are there other things where you thought, like, this feels new? This feels like something I've kind of been waiting to see. And it's okay if the answer's like not really. Yet.
It's more just the stuff I saw in Washington. He's great at designing these crossing patterns.
Yeah.
These crossing patterns with other routes that like sit in the zone. It's like if you look at this offense, there's a lot of times where one receiver's running right to left, other receiver left to right, tight end sitting in the zone, and you're swinging the back. Like, he does a good job of designing things that makes the defense expand, which paints a picture for Gino, and he sees the gaps in the zone just clearly.
I framed it wrong. Sorry. What I mean is, last year, you and the guys for pregame saw a ton of stuff where you were like, you would explain, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you build on that? Or why didn't you do this? So because I can't pick this up, like I need your help. Were there things where you saw, I'm seeing progress, I'm seeing development, I'm seeing them build, I'm seeing good things that we haven't seen here for a while?
Yeah. Okay. So the main Grubb's bread and butter is crossing patterns. So how do you get to those same spots with the same look and with different looks? So I think second game in, there was a tight 2x2 formation. We got to see him trying to build off the screen game as well. Next, or on Sunday, you're going to see a fake smoke screen. He's going to take a shot. I can almost guarantee you're going to see that because he's setting it up. Even though the screens weren't successful. Don't tell the
Dolphins.
I know they're not listening to us. It's what they got 3 hours on us. They have practice right now. Back because DK had like offensive pass interference. He was holding or blocking a bit too early. You have a screen of DK. Each receiver got a screen. So I look at that and I come up with a conclusion. He's going to screen, and he's going to take that. So each week I've seen, or the 2 weeks, right? You've seen the progression. He's mixed in the crossing routes a bit differently with formations and how they do it. Show it to them. Show it to the Dolphins. Now you pump that thing. Let it go.
Last couple of minutes here. Let's transition to defense. One name in particular that Mike McDonald talked about quite a bit this morning was Boye Mafe.
Yeah, the numbers didn't. Yeah, the numbers didn't support how he's playing right now. He's doing a really good job, but he needs to finish some sacks, man.
Now here's what he said about how he can do that.
Yeah, I think it's just getting used to it, like being in those positions. Like you can't get close to the quarterback throughout the offseason, and so you're trying to win rushes and then trying to be also in position to make the play on the quarterback. So converting to some power, maybe making more inside moves. He brought Jacoby down on the one, but he didn't have his right arm down. Jacoby just kind of threw it away. So there's some good finishes on there too. It's just I think he did end up with one. This was the first third down. That was it, right? Yeah.
He's right. I mean, it felt like Mafe was really active, and you'd see him back there. He just wasn't quite completing those plays yet.
Mafe could have 5 sacks.
Right?
Easily could have 5 sacks. It's about finishing at this point. He's got his paws on him. You got to work on that grip strength and bring him down. But to see him in those positions more often than we saw last year, I think is an indication that he's getting there. But now it's about finishing. The Patriots were a physical team. And we knew it was going to be physical, me and the pregame show guys, but we didn't realize it was going to be that physical. And Jacoby Brissett is not a little dude. He's a big boy. He can get out of there. But it's early in the season, so it's easy to be all in something or to really not believe in something. The Patriots have shown 2 weeks in a row that they can run the dang football.
Yep.
So that's something that the Hawks need to get better at.
All right, well, let's figure out what they did well. Take a look at some of these plays. I know that game day is over. The Hawks have the win in the bag. They're coming back to Seattle 2-0, but that doesn't mean we need to be done celebrating this win and looking at some of these plays. That's coming up next.
This is Seattle Sports.
DK's wide open. 10, 5, strides in, touchdown, Seahawks.
I've never been around a quarterback who had as big of a chip on his shoulder than Gino.
Brissett has time. Now he's going to get hit. He's going to go down. Well, Leonard Williams just drove his man back, just what the doctor ordered.
This is a great example of this game. Hey, when the offense needs to pick the defense up, they did it. When defense could help the offense by getting a critical stop, we got the stop.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Have you recently tried to get a loan to buy a piece of real estate? Are you tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and their endless guidelines? Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
ZZ Top. Leonard Skinnerd. 2 American institutions unite. The Sharp-Dressed Simple Man Tour. This Saturday, White River Amphitheater. Special guest, The Outlaws. On sale now at LiveNation.com. ZZ Top and Leonard Skinnerd live.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
You know, there's still time to get your roof done this summer with Riverside Roofing's quick quote at riversideroofingllc.com. Enter the details of your project and you're only 60 seconds away from starting on a new roof. At Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Everybody knows home is where the heart is. But for the Mariners, home is where thousands of hearts come together all season long. It's also where the no-fly zone is.
Julio jumps, makes the catch.
Where that barehander beyond belief is.
Rojas, barehand play for him, the stretch, and they got him again.
It's where the never give up, no matter what inning it is.
Luke Rowley does it again. The Mariners are right back in it.
And where 100-plus mile-an-hour game-over magic is.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
It's T-Mobile Park, where Seattle is. Mariners baseball, tried and tough.
Be here for the final stretch of the regular season at T-Mobile Park. The homestand continues with a 3-game showdown against the New York Yankees starting tomorrow night. Don't miss your chance to watch Julio and the Mariners take on Aaron Judge and the Bronx Bombers, including a special midweek matinee on Thursday at 1:10. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
This is Brock Hewitt. If you're retired or retiring soon and concerned about the future, call Tila Mortgage today to find out the benefits of a reverse mortgage. Tila's been locally owned and trusted right here in the Seattle Metro for over 20 years. Just ask yourself, do I settle for a retirement that just gets me by? I say no. Tila will see if you can retire more comfortably with a home equity conversion mortgage. They can help you refinance your current mortgage and convert a portion of your home's equity into a line of credit, providing benefits like no monthly mortgage payments or cash back to pay off bills, do home improvement projects, or build up a cash reserve for safety and peace of mind. Plus, you get to keep your home. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
This is Seattle Sports.
DK's wide open. 10-5. Strides in. Touchdown. Seahawks.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. The home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Some breaking NFL news moments ago. NFL Network reporting the Panthers are benching 2023 first overall pick Bryce Young in favor of veteran quarterback Andy Dalton. Young hasn't thrown a touchdown yet this season and has 3 interceptions. The Panthers are 0-2 under new head coach Dave Canales, having been outscored 73-13 in those contests.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Floor Coverings International.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. The Seattle Seahawks are coming back home, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks take on the Dolphins in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chance to win. The contest runs through Tuesday, September 17th. That is tomorrow. Right now, we're going over highlights and lowlights, figuring out how the Seahawks won this one. Plays of the game, we'll start with the Patriots getting off to a quick start offensively. Jacoby Brissett finds Jalen Polk.
Quick snap to present on 2nd goal and 5 in the back of the end zone, touchdown. Jalen Polk, the former Washington Husky, right between the safeties on the back line of the end zone, and Brissett did not wait. As soon as he got the snap, he fired a shot, and it was caught from 5 yards out, and the Patriots score first.
Now, 2 things I hated about this drive. One was the touchdown, although it was to a Husky alum. I needed that after the Apple Cup loss. But also this team continuing to find Hunter Henry Feel free to talk about either one of those things on this drive.
Goodness gracious. Hunter Henry had himself a day, especially early, but I'll focus on Polk down there. You get down into the red zone, and it's so hard. We talk about Grubb and designing his crossing routes. That's exactly what this is. Polk starts from the right side in the slot. You split the Mike and the Sam linebacker. You find the back of the end zone, and with all the action going across, right, moving guys east and west, a gap opened up. Congratulations, Polk, scoring his first of hopefully many touchdowns in the NFL.
After a slow first half offensively in week 1, it was fair to wonder whether or not the Seahawks would be able to respond to New England getting too much of a lead. It took all of 4 plays before Gino found DK for 56 yards to the house.
And now Gino slows everything down again. Charbonnet is lined up wide to the near side. And in the slot is DK Metcalf. Motion back inside his fan. Blitz is coming. Gino's going to let it fly. DK's wide open. 10, 5, strides in. Touchdown, Seahawks. The Seahawks got just what they wanted. They got a blitz and single coverage, and DK Metcalf ran right past the secondary. Wide open, Gino laid it on him. A 56-yard touchdown strike, and we're a point away from being tied here in Foxborough.
That 56-yarder is the 3rd longest touchdown of DK's career. He now has 2 50-plus-yard touchdowns against the Patriots. Bump, tell us what happened on this one.
So it looks like a miscommunication with the secondary with the Patriots. You got DK lined up in the slot. Gonzalez was over him, and it felt like Gonzalez thought it was a cover 2 look, and he had help over the top. I think he thought he had hooked to KIRO. He's talking to his partner on the his corner on the outside of him when they sat on the bench, and you see the miscommunication. Like, what'd you see? Yada yada yada. So it was definitely a blown coverage. Good job by Gino just recognizing it, seeing it, and taking a shot. I think that in that situation in general, the number 1 receiver outside of DK was running something short. He was going to take a shot anyway. You line him up in the slot, get a one-on-one look, miscommunication, you recognize it, take a shot.
We're in the second quarter. Seattle looking to respond. Gino finds JSN for 16 yards.
Shotgun snap to Gino. Steps up in the pocket. Throws. JSN sliding catch, and he makes it inside the 20-yard line. Man coverage out there by Marco Wilson, the 4th-year cornerback out of Florida. Gino kind of make that JSN kind of turned him around and then comes back on the out route, makes a sliding catch for a first down at the 18-yard line of the Patriots.
This will ultimately become a Charbonnet 1-yard touchdown. We'll get to that play next, but first, just focusing on how we got there, particularly that pass to JSN. You mentioned really liking how the team was starting to use Jackson.
Yeah, I also mentioned that the crossing routes and how they're using it in the way that Braves just described it. It's almost like, look, we're going to run a crossing route, but boom, I'm going to bring it back. So now you're using the influence of the preseason and weeks past to mess with these DBs' minds. And JSN was clearly going to be featured early. I think in the first half he had 6 receptions and really is showing that he's getting comfortable in this offense and playing in this league.
All right, the Seahawks didn't do a lot with the run, but they did do this.
And let's see what the Hawks want to do. They bring in Brady Russell, backup tight end as a fullback. An I formation behind Gino. Charbonnet, the tail of the I. Charbonnet gets the handoff, and he's going to dive in, and he is going to get there. Touchdown, Seahawks! Right over his center, Connor Williams. And behind a lead block, and the Seahawks take the lead.
Bump, I would imagine you loved seeing them use Russell as a fullback there.
Yeah, when they didn't have a fullback on the roster, I mentioned they're probably going to use Brady Russell back there. So when I saw him, I'm excited, and everyone's like, well, chill, Bump, what's going on? I go, I just like that they're using Russell.
Why are you so happy?
Use him as much as you can. I was also excited because I started Zach Charbonnet on my fantasy team, so I'm like, go ahead and get you a point there. But you got to be able to finish long drives with physical play like this.
I had A.J. Brown and T. Higgins. It wasn't a great week for me.
A.J. what? He was
Myers 44-yarder.
This will be off the left hash mark. Chris Stoll is the long snapper, and Michael Dixon's the holder. Jason Myers has one already today. Gets this one away. It's going to be long enough. And he puts 3 more on the board as the half comes to an end.
So able to continue to build on this one. You can talk about Myers. You can also talk about just what you made of Seattle's first half here.
Let's talk about Myers, man. He got the game ball for obvious reasons, and without him going 3 for 3 with these field goals, the Hawks aren't winning this ball game. So it's just another example of doing just enough. The run game isn't going. The pass game is doing enough. The Patriots defense, even though they gave up a bunch of yards, played well against this offense. So you need special teams to come in clutch. That's what we saw.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump ahead to the fourth quarter. This is going to be, I believe, the first score of the fourth quarter. You know what I didn't love? the Patriots getting 180-plus rushing yards in regulation. This was just one of them, but it was 7 points.
An offensive lineman as an I-back. Now they're going to shift out and empty, and they're going to snap the ball directly to Stevenson, and he's going to run around the left side, and he's going to step in. Williams tackles him at the goal line, but there wasn't much difference there to be made. He was going to get in a 1-yard touchdown run, and the Pats are going to go back out on top, 19-17.
Like Rabel said, look, he was going to get in. This guy hasn't been able to be stopped all day long. He's got 1 yard to get. What did you see on the play? And then we'll talk run game.
It was simple. It's just you motion the quarterback out of there, direct snap, go ahead and get it to your runner right now. On that drive, 11 ain't broke. Don't fix it. Let's just keep things rolling. It was only right that they ended with a run or a touchdown run by Stevenson.
So they did use their jumbo package on this one. They were using 13 personnel against the Bengals 12 times. They add in Caden Wallace as an extra guy. They used it on a 9-yard run by Gibson, but it's not like they were using that every single time, clearly. I mean, they were still getting Henry involved, but what made them so good with the run? Because it didn't feel to me like it was horrible tackling per se, but what did you see?
No, it wasn't. It was great angles, and then Stevenson and Gibson, the yards after contact. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it seemed like you get a hand on them, you bump them, you're just not able to get them down to the and it's clear.
I've had enough of Patriots highlights. Can we get to some defensive highlights for the Seahawks?
Shotgun snap. Brissett has time. Now he's going to get hit. He's going to go down. Back behind the 30-yard line is where he was hit. Falls forward. I think it was Big Cat. Got a little help, too, from some of his teammates. But Leonard Williams just drove his man back into the quarterback, then wraps up Brissett and drops him, just what the doctor ordered.
You liked what you saw from Leonard Williams in week 1, though he didn't have the stats to back it up. What did you see in week 2, particularly this play?
Yeah, him just being big. You know, you can't teach size and power. You can work on some power, but that's God-given. And you saw him, if you watched the film, man, he was active all day. I understand, I know 185 on the ground, but when it came to the pass game and getting after the quarterback, Jacoby wasn't comfortable. There are a lot of times where they're going to break for commercial, and there's slow motion. Jacoby on the ground is wincing in pain because guys are getting after him, and Big Cat led the charge.
Julian Love with another big play here, blocking a field goal.
We've still got a ball game and a chance for the Seahawks to come back and win this thing. There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked, and it's going to roll back into the end zone and out of the back, and everybody's congratulating Julian on the near side. It must have been him.
One of those plays that, yeah, it's cool in the moment, but also so wildly underrated because I don't know that you have a chance to even win this one. Send it into OT if they make that.
Yeah, if J. Love doesn't get his hand on it, there's going to be problems for sure. And the chances of you winning that ball game goes down. But J. Love told a story after the game. He goes, look, I told Rick Woolen, let's switch, because he's been rushing off the edge and getting some speed there. He switches with him. He goes ahead and makes that play. 2 weeks in a row, J. Love has made a big play. He had that interception down on the goal line last week. He has the block this week. My man's in the zone right now.
All right. One of my last couple highlights is actually going to be a coaching question for you. So first, this is the highlight itself. It's Jason Myers with a 38-yarder to tie it up 2020.
From 38 out, off the right hash mark to tie it, Jason Myers, the kick is up. And we've got a tie football game here in New England.
Would you have gone for it?
No. Tie the ball game up. Let's get into overtime. This is your second game as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Do what you're supposed to do here. I was good with it.
All right, a couple more highlights here. Stevenson has been having a day with this defense, but that stops here with Tyrell Dodson.
Brissett turns, hands to Stevenson. Flag is down. Oh, Brissett is stopped short. I think he's even short of the line of scrimmage. He might have even lost a half a yard. Might have been motion. Let's see what happens here as Brissett thinks it's against the Seahawks. Procedure call.
Illegal formation, number 70, was on the end of the line, did not report. The ruling on the field is the runner is short of the line to gain. That penalty's declined, 4th down.
Huge play by Dodson. It got him a game ball for Mike McDonald after this one. What did you see?
I just saw Dodson. I mean, it's 3rd and 1. You need this play, and Dodson just fills that gap. And I remember when he made contact, we're all yelling, run your feet, run your feet. And he does exactly that, man. Dodson is having himself a good season so far. You got to be physical on these short yardage situations. Man, he delivered a nice little pop.
Zach Charbonnet didn't have a huge day on the ground, but he did have a big conversion, 7 yards from Gino Smith.
Gino from the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Here comes the rush. Gino, a little dump pass. It's caught by Charbonnet near side. He dives. He's got the first down inside the 40-yard line. Clock keeps moving. What a great call. As everybody pulls out, and Charbonnet, just with a quick throw to the near flat, makes the catch and dives for the first down. We've got a 1st and 10 after the 7-yard gain. Ball at the Patriots' 38-yard line.
Again, this was initially from New England's 45. It was Seattle's 3rd and 6. Gino finds Zach Charbonnet for 7 yards. Steve said as part of this, what a great call. What made it a good call?
Yeah, Charbonnet didn't do much, but he was clutch. Bars. What was great about this is that he snuck underneath the line of scrimmage. He started on the right side. Gino does a great job with his eyes, influence the defense to the right, and then Charbonnet slips under to the left side. You get it to him, and now it's just catch the ball, get a field, make a play. Charbonnet, man, like I said, you look at his numbers, you're not impressed. You look at the situations that he came through clutch, man, and then you understand why he was out there. 2
of the most pivotal plays of the game are the next 2 I have here. First, Gino finds Tyler Lockett.
JSN slots on the right side. Charbonnet in the backfield. Gino's going to roll to the right. He looks. Now he comes back to the left. Throws. Got a man. It's Lockett. Makes the catch. Stutter steps out of bounds inside the 25. Man coverage in the secondary. And as long as Gino can find a receiver, he's going to get it to him. Hawks in field goal range. A 16-yard completion to Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett had 2 targets. 2! And that was obviously the longest with 16 yards, but it was the most important.
He actually had 4, but he drew pass interference on those other 2. So it doesn't go in the stat sheet, but it's big. Again, Gino to Lockett, end of the game, clutch to kind of get things rolling again. Tyler Lockett, man, and here's the thing about Tyler Lockett. 2 targets, but he ain't tripping. I guarantee you there's no ego with Tyler Lockett. He's happy to get this win. He's pumping everybody else up. He is such a great teammate and a clutch wide receiver.
Here's Jason Myers.
From the left hash mark, Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game in overtime against the Patriots. And there are a lot of 12s with their arms up right now saying, yes, the Seahawks win. They go to 2-0 under first-year head coach Mike McDonald.
One of only 2 new head coaches, including Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, to improve to 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah, he beat the other guy in Mayo, who's 38 years old, a young guy. But this was such a dramatic team win. You got stops on 3rd downs. You have a blocked field goal. You have a game-winning drive by Gino, his first of the year, and it's only in week 2. You have a clutch reception by a guy that people forgot about. You got 2 receivers that went over 100 yards. You got to work on this run game, but you just have to win games in this league. Every game is going to be different. There's going to be things to work on. End of the day, you're 2-0 and looking good in the NFC West.
Curtis and Matt seem to have accidentally left another cut on here for highlights from this game.
Here's the snap. Rodgers rolls out to his right, looking to pitch it. He does the last second. The Cougs get the stop. The Cougs get the stop. Shy of the first down and getting into the end zone. Washington State with the stop. Cougs take over.
Okay, again, this.
Congratulations, Cougs. Congratulations.
Actually did it. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory. Going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, other than the 4th down stop to win the game, what was the biggest play in the Apple Cup, in your opinion?
3rd and 20. Cougars have the football right before half, and John Mateer breaks one for a touchdown. They call a QB run, design QB run, a trap right up the gut. You catch, U-dub, kind of blitz up the B gap, you hit the A gap, and now you're gone. And what people aren't talking about enough, the blocking by the receivers on the outside. It's easy to kind of say, look, we're just trying to get in field goal position and set one up. But when you know you have a dynamic running back / quarterback back there, you block your tail off, man. And John Mateer, I'm telling you, he must be one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the country right now. He plays with speed and with strength, and that was big. If they don't get that right there, they settle for 3. Who knows what happens after that? But those type of runs are backbreakers. 3rd and 20, and you get a rushing touchdown from your quarterback.
2nd down. What about the Seahawks offense shows efficiency in pre-snap procedures?
Man, Grubb gets the play out to Gino so quickly that every time they break the huddle, there is time for shifts and for motions. Gino walks up to the line of scrimmage, I remember last year we were watching this game, and it seemed like everything was rushed. 5 seconds, guys, let's go. No, Grubb does a great job of communication, allowing Gino to get to the line of scrimmage, diagnose what's going on. You do shifts in motion so the defense has to show if they're in man or they're in zone, and then there's still enough time for him to make an audible. They're getting out the break with like 15 to 17 seconds left. I'm not used to seeing that. The last couple of years, they're breaking a huddle with 6-7 seconds left, and you're in a rush. So that tells me that Grubb is a play ahead every single down. His communication is on point, and it gives Gino so much time to figure out what he's looking at. I think that helps him late in the game.
How were the Patriots able to get Hunter Henry going, and how do you think the Seahawks will adjust this week against the Dolphins?
So they got him going because the Hawks last week against the Denver Broncos were content with playing soft coverage and rallying to the football. And the Patriots were like, fine, you want to play soft coverage? All we're going to do is we're going to play action and get the run going and then drop our tight end about 8 to 10 yards down the field. And now you have to rally downhill on a dude who's 6'5", 250 pounds. It's not going to be as easy to rally and tackle this guy. The Patriots did a good job early of just taking what the defense was giving them. Now, how do you adjust when it comes to that? I think you got to play with your safeties and your nickels now. Against the Dolphins, you got to walk down to the line of scrimmage. Even if it's not man, give them a man look. Make that tight end have to work off the line of scrimmage. The linebackers have to give him a little something off the line of scrimmage. You can't let him just run freely 8 to 10 yards and turn around and rally to the football. You can still rally, but you have to make that tight end and any receiver work off the line of scrimmage, man. That touchdown, I'll go back to you, that big touchdown late in the game to number 5, I think it's Jackson. The Cougs did nothing to reroute him. If on, the chances of me getting to the right spot are just elevated. So I think that's something that the Hawks should and will do. Make these tight ends work off the line of scrimmage. You can still play from depth. Give them something to think about.
Did you see Seattle make in-game moves to try to take away Henry? I mean, it's okay if they didn't work, but did you see them kind of trying to do certain things, or
nah?
Yeah.
I think
were they like, yeah, we'll give you that, but then we'll commit to this?
Yeah, they didn't walk safeties up. They didn't reroute. No, they just rallied to the football.
Might have just accepted, like, look, this is how we're going to have to play, so tackle Shirley. 4th down. Who on the Seahawks defense was missed late, but what did his absence provide?
Jerome Baker, man, when he kept coming in and out, right? We saw this play. I think Brian Walters pointed it out. He's running down a running back. Looked like a rookie out there at times. Then he also made some plays. But that's what you're going to get out of a rookie. We would have loved to have Jerome Baker out there every single snap, and things might have been different if he was out there. But what that does is provide a young man an opportunity to get some playing time in a tight ball game. He did some things that were quite silly. We were talking about it in the postgame show. My man was in the box and spun off a block and then put himself in just in horrible position. It's like he has to get used to just stalemating and being okay with not even losing a battle, but feeling like you're losing a battle because all you're going to do is force the running back to a different direction, and maybe your guys will be there to clean it up. So yeah, Tyree's not an opportunity to get out there and understand that you have to be physical in this game. There's no catching, there's no finesse, because that's what I saw when he was in college. He was great at diagnosing plays and kind of slipping blocks, but he was a superior player out there. In the NFL, man, they all can play. So he's going to have a lot to learn, but those are quality reps, especially when you can walk away with a W.
This is a thing. So I checked to see if we had this coming up because we're taking a look around the NFL next.
Headlines.
Huh?
It's an NFL headlines.
It is an NFL headlines?
It is.
Oh, I totally missed. Okay, well, then I'll tell you, I'll explain it more.
We've got a couple other things, though.
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of great quotes yesterday.
Well, then what I'll do instead is spend just 2 minutes here getting to some questions because I do have some on the Mac and 15 seconds and a timeout to try for a field goal at the end of regulation.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. It's risk reward, right? You don't want to have Gino force something down the field and then maybe give the Patriots good field position on an interception or a fumble or something like that. They were playing for overtime. Me personally, I would have taken at least one shot to kind of see what you can do, or not even a shot, maybe a 15, 20-yard ball to the sideline. But it's just what you're comfortable with. And he felt like Ryan Grubb and McDonald felt like it's all good. Let's go into OT and beat them there.
575, the radio crew said the Hawks put J-Love on Henry in the second half to take him out of the game.
Which radio crew? The one?
I think they
talking
mean
about us, or you talking about Raves?
They must mean us.
They put J-Love over him, but not on him.
So not like a true,
They're not like, the Hawks, they play man, but not as often as they play zone.
Hunter Henry, and probably lost because of it. What's the worst fantasy football mistake you made this weekend?
This weekend? I don't think I made any, honestly.
Did you win?
It was made from. No, I'm in 3 leagues. I lost in 2. But I mean,
so much work.
All you got to do is start them. I can't play for them.
So much work. I have accepted. Me and the Panthers have the same record.
Hey, so what was the petty ball?
Can I just say it? We'll get back to it in NFL headlines.
Oh, you said info headlines.
Okay, so I'll explain what the petty ball is coming up at 12:45. I looked at the wrong part of our show sheet, so I thought we didn't have it.
Okay.
But I will explain the petty game ball, and I think it's actually really clever and funny. And it was a thing. So it's coming up at 12:45. You are listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We got some breaking NFL news. That has nothing to do with the petty game ball.
We had a great plan going in, and we were able to adjust as the game went on. Gino played a tremendous, watching the tape again, I thought he played a tremendous game. DK had a great game. Jackson had a great game. I mean, you can just kind of go down the list. Offensive line protected well for the most part. I mean, there's some things we got to look at, but felt like we were the aggressor throughout the course of the game. And then just to finish it off the way that we did offensively.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Key here is employee satisfaction. There is no expectation for customer satisfaction if the people that work with us don't feel taken care of and supported and loved. I'm proud of the Lee Johnson Auto family. I'm proud of our stores. And I need everybody to share in that mindset, because it makes a better experience for the customer. It also makes it a better place to work. Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me. Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. Most guys don't realize that their ED started in their 40s. Symptoms of erectile dysfunction can be slight and subtle, but by treating your symptoms at the onset, you can avoid severe ED in the future. Mild ED is easily reversed at our clinic using our acoustic wave technology. Most men have accepted that ED is a part of getting older, but that's far from the truth. Our acoustic wave therapy has helped thousands of men restore function, whether they're in their 40s or their 80s. West Coast Men's Health also treats chronic pain, including neuropathy, plantar fasciitis, Dupuytren's contracture, and even carpal tunnel. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
This is Seattle Sports.
Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game.
The home of the Seahawks. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Gino Smith was sacked 3 times, hit 7, and had 5 passes dropped by his wide receivers yesterday.
But as DK Metcalf said, he put the team on his back in the end, throwing for 327 yards and a touchdown. His teammate Leonard Williams spoke about what he means to the team after the game.
I mean, I have the utmost confidence in him when he has the ball in his hands. Every time offense takes the field, I'm just happy that they have the ball in his hands. And, it's super exciting for me to see this in him as well, just because I got drafted to the Jets my rookie year, and Gino was there, and, a whole bunch of stuff happened. I ended up coming out here last year, and he's, matured so much since the last time I seen him. He's such a leader, really takes control of the offense and leads the team in a great way.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to my buddy Richard. Richard, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
The lady I'd been using for a couple years left, and I had no representation. I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I just said, I got to do this. So I did, and I'll tell you, it's been happy days ever since then.
Were they able to save you money, Richard?
Yeah, it saved me about $3,500 is all.
Wow. Wow.
But I also picked up some other things. I got a personal umbrella because I've got a rental house in Idaho as well.
So what do you tell others, your friends, your family, your people you trust?
You need to call First Mark because they have top-notch customer service. Most companies offer customer no service nowadays. First Mark has the most top-notch customer service I've ever experienced, bar none.
Richard did it. My family did it. You got to go do it. It's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This hour is brought to you by Floor Coverings International.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, reading you the top stories you're going to see and hear about on your own timeline. You're definitely seeing this one if you haven't already gotten push notifications or what have you from sports sites you follow. The Panthers are benching Bryce Young. They will start Andy Dalton in Week 3. Carolina, as a reminder, gave up wide receiver DJ Moore, a 2023 first-round pick, which was then traded to Philadelphia and became Jalen Carter, and a 2023 second-rounder plus a 2024 first-round pick that later became Caleb Williams, and a 2025 second-rounder to trade up and get Bryce Young. Did they make a mistake, or is it still too early?
Game 1, he's 13 of 30, 161, completes 43% of his passes, 2 interceptions. Against New Orleans, we're figuring out that New Orleans is legit, though.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, 18 of 26 for 84 yards, completes 69% of his passes for 1 interception. He has over a year and some change of just poor performances. Now, what do we attest to? What do you attribute it to? Is it the coaching? Is it him not being capable? We're not sure. But when you're making a move, Week 2, and this is a former number 1 pick, you're making this move already, that tells me at least the coaching staff is looking at their personnel and saying, we should be better. If we have a quarterback who can go through the reads and make the throws, we should be better. I'm looking at their personnel. Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo at the wide receiver spots. You have Xavier Leggett, the rookie receiver. You got Hubbard and Sanders in the backfield. I'm not looking at this personnel and saying overwhelmingly, oh, they're going to be great. But the coaching staff is saying Bryce Young isn't getting it done. Maybe he needs to have a true development year, sit down for a while, and watch Andy Dalton do his thing. Andy Dalton's going to be an upgrade. Mm-hmm. Andy Dalton has played in this league for a long time, has completed a lot of passes. I felt like a move was coming with this team.
Here's what I'm curious about. Do we think that a new head coach, Dave Canales, came in and decided in week 2 to bench a former number 1 overall pick? Or do we think this is maybe coming from above him?
I think it has to be collaborative. I think that Canales did a great job in the development of Russell Wilson and Gino Smith. I think that he was instrumental in Baker Mayfield having a bounce-back year. I think he knows what he needs to see out of his quarterbacks. I also think that, the man upstairs is always in the mix when it comes to the Panthers. So I think they both decided on this.
Yeah, David Tepper was the one who reportedly really wanted to push for Bryce Young. And again, if David Tepper would not have had his organization draft Bryce Young still would have gone very early. If it wouldn't have been, the Texans pick at number 2, maybe it would have been, another team, whether it's the Colts, whoever it is. He was projected to be a number 1 pick heading into the draft. This was not shocking when he was selected number 1 overall. What did the rest of the NFL world miss? Or what are the Panthers doing so poorly that they cannot take advantage of this guy? That's the big question, right?
Some guys need to develop. Maybe that's the one thing he hasn't done. He's been thrown into the situation and saying, you're the guy. Some guys need to sit, need to watch, need to grow, and that might be it for Bryce. But here's the thing. Once he gets his next opportunity, if he does not show growth, if he cannot move the football and produce points, he will be a career backup.
You want to know the weirdest thing about all this, outside of all the weirdness? Andy Dalton, born same year as Mike McDonald.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's
really
crazy.
Highlights how, Andy Dalton at, 36, 37 is older for a quarterback, but not necessarily for a backup. It also highlights just how young Mike McDonald really is, born in 87. Next up, Jake Dickert had an idea for what the Cougs should do with the Apple Cup trophy now that it's in their possession.
These guys stayed here for this moment, right? To bring that trophy back to Pullman. It's going to be in the 3rd floor of the CFC if anybody wants to come out and see it. I think we might retire this trophy. I think this is the Pac-12 trophy. I think that might stay in our place for a long time, and we'll bring a new one next year. A little Big Ten, Pac-12. We'll put the new score on it. So we might retire this one as the Pac-12 trophy and stay in Pullman.
No, you won't, Jake. No, you won't. You're going to give it back. It's going to go where it belongs, which is here on Montlake.
Why isn't it here then?
Okay, well, I just think it was, again, like I said, part of my coping process after all of this was just telling myself that Jedd Fisch and so many of his players just don't understand the rivalry. It's new to them. It's foreign territory.
They know now. Fisch was like, I could imagine it was like my freshman year, coming out of West LA in Culver City. And, playing my freshman year and not really understanding what the Apple Cup was. And then we get into the game. It's pregame where we're walking through our clubhouse or what do I call this? Anyway, we're walking through the fans and the energy's different. Then I get on the field and shirts are off and dudes are barking back and forth. And then after the game, we get the victory and fans are rushing the field. And that's why when I got it, I go, oh, snaps. This is way bigger than me or anything I've ever done. This goes back a long time. Fisch knows what it is now. I love Jake Dickert for that. I think it's great trash talk. I'm sure we're going to have the trophy at the game next year. But he has to say and do things like that because that's how you recruit. That's how you get these kids going. He means it.
Yeah.
But there's some tradition here. The cup will be back. But I love this talk from Jake Dickert.
I actually, for real, really do love this from Jake Dickert because I also think there's just simply, and I am saying this as a Husky, there is simply not enough, legacy and tradition and experience with this rivalry, with this conference on Washington's side right now. Is Jedd Fisch saying something like this after? I don't think so.
No.
You kind of need Jake Dickert, who understands it right now, to kind of introduce it to a new type of Apple Cup.
And this is why UW fans, some, not all, because I know some good UW fans, get some heat. 360. Dickert's comments are the ultimate little brother move. I win once, so is mine forever. Excuse me, sir, he's won twice. And the reason why he's saying that is because y'all left the Pac-12. It's deeper than just winning it. So it's why you left, it's how you left. And I love Pat Chung, that's my dude. You even took our AD, and we still got this win. It's bigger. It means more to us because of the situation that we are in.
And I want it to mean more to Washington. I want Jedd Fisch to treat this rivalry as though it is the most important game outside of whatever.
I think he will after this.
I hope he does.
I think he will. You had to have felt that.
Yeah, I hope that the Huskies felt insulted, felt stupid, or kicking themselves because, again, that's what makes a rivalry. The trash talking after, the trash talking heading into it. I remember being annoyed when I was still making Wazoo jokes and someone texted in something like, well, it's a little too soon. It's a little inappropriate right now. And I was like, so hold up. I'm supposed to pause trash talking to be nice because of conference realignment, as devastating as that is? No.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, that's how you let rivalries die. Is you decide to feel bad for people.
Even when we lose, man, we get smacked most of the time. You think they don't come after me?
You know?
All the time. They're coming after me right now on the text lines.
Next up, we're heading back to the NFL for this one. Bo Nix had the most literal explanation ever of his interception on Sunday.
Bo, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
Drop back, threw it to the other team.
He's not wrong, Bump.
Hey, literal.
He's not wrong.
That's him being frustrated. He's used to winning. He hasn't lost many games in his career. He's realizing the NFL is tough. I think Bo Nix is going to be fine. I really do. But sometimes you don't have time for it today. You know, sometimes you just don't have time, and that's what Bo Nix displayed right there.
I'll say this about Bo Nix. We are going to talk about him a little bit more in NFL headlines. In 2 games, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 35.4 quarterback rating. However, he's led the Broncos in rushing yards for the 2nd week, and it's not like those yards are astronomical. They've just got no run game going.
Yeah, it's not
Absolutely
good.
not.
Got to help the young man out with a run game.
Next up, Packers quarterback Malik Willis couldn't get a grip on the ball during the 3rd and long situation in Green Bay because Green Bay's center, I'm just warning if anyone's eating lunch, threw up on it right before he snapped it.
I asked Malik why he didn't throw the ball on that 3rd down, and he told me that Josh threw up on the ball. I was like, that's the first time I've ever heard that. Matter of fact, the official came over to me, Sean came over to me and said, you know, we saw your center thrown up on the ball. Do you want us to take him out next time? I said, absolutely. Please do that because, I mean, you're talking about a critical situation and it's 3rd down, and I've never had a throw with vomit on a football. So I don't know. I don't think Malik probably didn't appreciate that.
Now, they're probably able to laugh about it because Green Bay beat Indianapolis 16-10. They are 1-1 on the season, bouncing back after that loss to the Eagles. But this is like out of a Disney kids movie.
You'd be surprised how many times I've been in the huddle and watched guys throw up.
Stop.
I've seen it at least 20 times.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like right before a play goes off.
I've seen it happen during the play. It's usually the offensive lineman.
I was going to say 9 times out of 10 who's doing the throwing
it's the big
up.
boys.
The offensive lineman. I'll be asking Ray about this. Announced today, final story here, SportsCenter legend Linda Cohn will be joining the Kraken broadcast team as a studio host for a select number of games during the upcoming season.
Fire.
Very
Love
cool.
Linda.
Iconic. I can't believe the season's right around the corner. We are getting into such a busy time in the sports calendar. We're going to take a listen to a little bit more from Mike McDonald. That's coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
John Morosi is here.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
Dan Wilson has come in. They at least have a winning record since he took over. And here we are. We're well past Labor Day, and we're still talking about the Mariners with a chance. They've got a chance. I'm not saying it's a good chance, but they've got a chance. And you're seeing meaningful baseball played in Seattle for yet another September. So I'm trying to be still at this point the optimist.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, this is Stacey Rost, and if you're looking for top-notch service for your plumbing, heating, and air needs, look no further than Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. For over 25 years, Ben's has been providing 5-star service for our community. Their team of experienced professionals are dedicated to making sure you get the best service possible. That means no pressure, no gimmicks, just honest, reliable work. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, Ben's has got you covered. And with their no-pressure sales approach, you can rest easy, knowing you're only getting the services you actually need without any unnecessary upsells. So whether it's a leaky faucet, a broken heater, or an AC on the fritz, trust the experts with over a quarter-century of excellence. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air today at 206-789-5353 or benz.plumbing. Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where 5-star service meets no-pressure sales.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh,
don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work?
Can you have both?
If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both.
That's right. I'm Anthony with Asset Roofing, and we've replaced thousands of Western Washington roofs. We've replaced all types of roofs, both residential and commercial. We want to help local homeowners replace their roof before winter.
I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. I was impressed by their communication and knowledge. Their quality work and attention to detail made for a very pleasant experience.
I'm pleased to hear that. We strive to deliver a quality, long-lasting roof replacement you can trust and an experience that will give you peace of mind.
Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
The home of the Seahawks.
Hey, Brock Heward back again with my good friends at Tila Mortgage. And despite the difficult economy and higher rates, Tila's been working hard, helping people during these uncertain times. If credit card debts, car loans, or other payments are hurting your credit score and killing your cash flow, well, Tila can help you take control of your finances with programs like a home equity line of credit or HELOC. Keep in mind that this powerful tool allows you to keep your low fixed rate first mortgage in place while providing access to your home equity so you can consolidate those high interest bills into one lower, more manageable payment. Tila's helped Washingtonians consolidate debts with HELOCs and refinance loans for over 25 years. They're also experts at purchase and reverse mortgages. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tila's committed to honest and ethical lending. Call Tila today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, NMLS 2472046.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we got a bit more from Mike McDonald here. This was from an exclusive interview this morning, the Mike McDonald Show with Brock and Salk. So let's start with some Gino stuff here.
I'm replaying the game in my mind right now, and
That sounds right. I mean, I can't think of one that I can't find one where I was like, hey, yeah, that was a bad throw. I mean, he played a tremendous game. I think it's credit to his approach in the offseason. I mean, this guy has absolutely grinded it out. Just took this thing head on from the get-go. Totally bought in taking in the process, the new language, the reads, all the audibles, all the moving parts, the moving and shifting. So I think Gino deserves a tremendous amount of the credit here on how he's playing.
This is from some charting that showed that Gino had no off-target throws in this one.
Maybe one. Remember the first one we talked about? But maybe it was affected by his arm being hit, so that's what they're talking about. But yeah, I can't think of any throws where, other than that one, which he was clearly affected by the defender, where I thought, what is he doing? Where did he put that ball? There was one of Jason's early catches that were kind of behind him, but if you touch it, you buy it, is what I tell my players.
Mm-hmm.
No, Gino was on point, man. He was efficient. He was calm. He moved in the pocket. I agree with McDonald 100%.
You also agree with McDonald in terms of calling for a field goal as opposed to a play. This was on 4th and 1 late. They ended up kicking a field goal. Mike McDonald was asked why they decided to do that.
It'd been great to get it on 3rd down. It was a little bit longer than it comes down to hey, is it 6 inches? Is it a yard? Is it a yard and a half? That plays into what you're going to call, and confidence-wise of whether to get it. So, and then only having the 2 timeouts definitely has plays a factor. The numbers were about even, analytically speaking. Matter of fact, it actually favored slightly to go for it in that situation. There's a lot of factors going on there too, so it's kind of hard to be like, hey, you can't make these cut and dry decisions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're super favorable and you feel like you got a good play, then I definitely want to stay aggressive in those situations. But for that one, we had a 4th down earlier in the game, could have gone up 7. We had a really good drive going. It was 3rd and longer. I wasn't really necessarily expecting to get to a 4th and 1 there. 4th one was a go going into the series. And, in hindsight, you probably should have kicked it.
I'm actually glad that he mentioned the 4th and 1 they had earlier. It was in the 3rd quarter. They have a 14-yard completion to JSN on 3rd and 15, just short. So 4th and 1, Zach Charbonnet carries, no gain, turnover on downs. I wonder if that did play into it, being our offense doesn't feel unstoppable today. It's been sharp. Gino's been phenomenal, but why don't we play this a little more conservative?
Yeah, they got stopped early, and with that stop, Gino fumbled the snap. The exchange wasn't great, and then I forget who it was a D lineman or a middle linebacker for New England made a heck of a play, dives over the pile and smacks Gino. At that point, you're playing the safest you can because you feel like we just want another opportunity. And what does that? Kicking a field goal, taking it into overtime, hopefully winning the coin toss, which you didn't. But relying on sequences, I much rather prefer the way that game was going. I much rather rely on 20 sequences to win a ball game rather than rolling the dice on one play and seeing if you can do it or not. And you got to go with your gut in that situation. And I'm sure him and Grubb had a conversation. And how do you feel? Are you comfortable? They say no. Let's play for overtime.
Yeah, I selfishly, as a fan, I shouldn't say as a fan, as a football viewer, I would always want a team to go for it on 4th down. I would always want a game to go into overtime. I know that a 4th down conversion and touchdown saves you from overtime, but you want exciting things. As a coach, I absolutely can empathize with that decision. Mike McDonald also had more to say about his relationship with Ryan Grubb.
Well, it's not easy because defense requires a lot of my time, and because of just we're working from scratch on defense as well. So, man, this isn't a shot at offensive guys, but Ryan has a really open mind. And is willing. He listens, and he's willing to scrimmage things out situationally with you, where you're coming from, what he's thinking. It's he's not afraid to be well, I was thinking this, and then have it not to be the right thing. And then me too. So it's my job to create this environment of hey, we're just looking for the best thing here.
It's a really interesting marriage between these two heading into season 2-0 to start.
You said it. That's a marriage right there. You got to be able to communicate, throw some ideas out there. Take some criticism or some critiques and just have that back and forth. And I think that's huge. Produce one of the best offenses in college football. Y'all should listen to each other because you're going to challenge each other and you might be able to see things from a different angle. I love that that's the relationship. It should be the relationship all across the league because you never have everything figured out in football. There's always something to learn.
Let's get back to Gino for our last cut here. Earlier, Mike McDonald talked about Gino. He was told a stat about Gino not having an off-target throw and said, yeah, it sounds about right. He was playing really well. Here's a bit more about Gino, his confidence in Gino and Gino's ability to, as Bump would say, make deposits.
Like when you work and you stack all those reps, you can play confidently and deliver the ball on time. And the receivers have to be in the right. And there's a lot of things going on too. Like protection's got to be right. This Brock. Like,
oh yeah,
protection's got to be right. The guys got to be in the right spots. We got to get to the right plays in certain situations. So everybody is in on that. But I mean, like I said, Gino's right there at the forefront of the whole thing, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Here's what I like about covering Gino Smith. I would love it if this team had a first overall pick and took a quarterback who we thought was the best thing ever, and you were just watching someone with talent that you couldn't believe. What's cool about watching Gino is it's a different kind of quarterback story, and it's one that includes a lot of experience, about a decade's worth.
Yeah.
And when we talk about Gino looking sharp and decisive and making those good decisions, that's not just pure raw talent. That's also experience and trust in yourself.
Trusting yourself, trusting what you're seeing, and trusting your offensive coordinator. Like Grubb has to be saying things in ways that just makes complete sense to Gino. I mean, we saw that last year with Shane Waldron. I mean, the year before too, he had a Pro Bowl type of year. Gino's been able to, we talk about sitting. I said I love when rookies get to sit. Gino got to sit for a minute.
Yeah.
And imagine all the things he learned while sitting, digesting defenses and offenses and just learning the game from a whole bunch of different offensive coordinators. I think that was probably the best thing that happened to Gino. In the time, I'm sure he hated it and wanted to be out there because he's a competitor. But look at him now, man. He doesn't seem flustered, and every throw is confident. I've yet to see one throw that isn't confident.
Opening up phone lines at 1 p.m. Maybe we'll talk about Gino when we get to that. First, we got to talk about the things that caught our eye in this week to win. That's next.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
And I just shot the gap, skinnied up, got my hands up, got a block.
Charbonnet gets the handoff, and he's going to dive in. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Just felt good to win. I think the past 2 weeks we've really shown how close of a team we are when battling adversity. So, I mean, we only going to get stronger.
Gibson puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Choose the right flooring for your home, right in your home, with Floor Coverings International. They bring the mobile showroom to you, loaded with samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, laminate, tile, and more. So you can see the flooring in your light, not just in a store or on a screen. They handle every aspect of installation, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Visit FCIFloors.com and book a free in-home consultation. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Don't miss Mariners Fan Appreciation Night, Friday, September 27th against the A's. After the game at 7:10, stick around for a special fireworks show presented by T-Mobile. Plus, you'll have the chance to win incredible prizes all night long, including Alaska Airlines flights, autographed jerseys, and more.
Into the corner, gone! Julio!
Go to mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets today. Mariners Baseball. Trident's up.
Can't fix everything for everybody, but you can be there and listen and try to help with what you can. You're there to support them, and that's the best that you can do.
Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of the 380 people who consider Lee Johnson their home.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us. My wife and 3 kids in the house, there's always something wrong with somebody at all times. And if there isn't, then something's wrong. When you have 388 employees, there's never a day that everything is good everywhere. You have to be okay with that. You have to look at that as opportunities to gain a better relationship with people and help them through what they're going through.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. Forward! If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's! This is Seattle Sports.
He's going to go down. But Leonard Williams just drove his man back, just what the doctor ordered.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
NFL Network is reporting the Panthers are benching 2023 first overall pick Bryce Young in favor of veteran quarterback Andy Dalton. Young hasn't thrown a touchdown yet this season and has 3 interceptions. The Panthers are 0-2 under new head coach Dave Canales, having been outscored 73-13 in those contests. The Seattle Mariners took 3 of 4 from Texas over the weekend. They have an off day today. Tune in to Seattle Sports at 7 p.m. for Extra Innings, a Mariners show hosted by Curtis Rogers. The latest news and updates to get you primed and ready for the M's upcoming series against the Yanks.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, we went over the plays of the game from the Seahawks. Now we're going over some specific moments. Maybe it's an interaction, maybe a decision, maybe a costly mistake, or maybe the right call that you noticed. It's sticking with you now 24 hours later, so let's get to it. What caught my eye? Bump. Getting us started. What do you got?
What caught my ojos is, the bounce back from drops. 5 drops from the tight ends and the wide receivers. JSN had a big drop on the sideline. Did not expect that to happen. DK had a drop. Noah Fant had a couple of drops. That could deter a quarterback or make him lose a little bit of confidence in his guys. That did not happen with Gino. He goes to complete 33 passes, which is a career high. His high before that was 32. So just the drops. Eliminate the drops. And they're not, a drop isn't a DB is there, he makes a play on the ball. That's a pass breakup. A drop is it hits both of your hands, both of your manos. You should catch that football and you don't come down with it. So the fact that they had those drops and Gino was still able to complete 75% of his passes without those drops, if he complete those, he completes 85% of his passes. It just shows how efficient and how he wasn't shook, and he still believes in his guys. I'm sure he's having conversations with them in the huddle and on the sideline saying, I got you, don't worry, let's bounce back, man. Eliminate those drops.
It is crazy to think that his 44 completions, like already 75% with them. I can't do math quickly enough to find out what it would have been. But
what do you mean? Without the drops? 85.
85. Yeah, 85.
Yeah.
That obviously already a career high in completions would have been even higher. Do you let a drop slide if in the case like one of them with Noah Fant, it might not even have been for a conversion? Like it might have been short.
Do you let it slide?
Not
like
slide, but do you kind of like in your brain go like, okay, I don't know that made the game?
That's a tough one because as a receiver, like you feel like you should catch everything.
Sure.
I think that in the grand scheme of things, you understand that that's going to happen. No receiver, no tight end, no running back has gone their whole career and not dropped a pass unless you only have 5 receptions in the league like me. I ain't dropped nothing. So I only got 5 receptions.
But you're 5 of 5.
I'm 5 of 5.
5 of 5.
But if you are a main contributor, you're going to drop a pass, and I think quarterbacks understand going to happen.
I'm going to stay in the Gino lane, but look at pressure for what caught my eye. It's a very specific play, and unfortunately, I don't have an exact answer. So it's 2nd and 11. It's on Seattle's first drive. New England's punted the ball. Seattle is taking over. On 1st and 10, it's a loss of 1. 2nd and 11, it's a sack. I don't know if I saw a couple people tweeting like, hey, maybe Fant was supposed to pick up some pressure there and didn't. So maybe it's Tomlinson, maybe it's Fant, maybe it's someone else. It's not my job to know the assignments of the offensive lineman. All I know is that Gino was sacked there, and it took all of like 0.02 seconds. Mina Kimes tweeted out, Gino Smith has faced the quickest pressure of any quarterback in football this season per Next Gen Stats. He is 5th in success rate, nevertheless. This drive ended with a punt. The next pass was broken up, a great pass breakup by Hawkins. But it had me wondering, this specific play, what this offensive line is going to look like against Detroit, who, as you noted earlier in the show, brings great pressure last year. Not just Aiden Hutchinson leading in total pressures and hurries and everything, but as a team, they led in pressure percentage. They are going to really test this 2nd and 11 sack. That moment, whatever led to that, is going to be pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and it will be a pressure point, literally and figuratively, for Detroit, who knows how to bring that. So I found myself going back and kind of rewatching that play, and it's easier when you win, right? Your team won. It's easy to go back and look at sacks or moments where they had loss of yardage and a drive that ended with a punt because you know that it ends up being totally fine. But I did find myself kind of stuck on a moment like that after.
This young man who had a couple sacks in the first 3 plays, it felt like on the Detroit Lions. So, no, I think that's fair. Just the same way I'm looking at the run defense and saying, all right, well, the Dolphins shouldn't be able to go off on you, right? Because we don't know if Moster's going to play. He's been banged up. A-Chain is over there as well. You're looking for improvement. And you came out hot that first week against the run. You struggled against the New England Patriots. We're still trying to figure out how good the Patriots are. I think that's a natural thing to do, is to see where you're struggling and say, all right, will that become a problem next week? See where you're having success and say, okay, will we be able to build on that next week? That's the beauty of a long season, is you have time to dissect and kind of foreshadow and see what's going to happen.
What's next?
Oh, man, what caught my eye is that these dudes cannot run the football, or weren't able to run the football with that offensive line and Zach Charbonnet. Though Zach Charbonnet did have a couple clutch first down pickups and a 9-yard run towards the end of overtime to set these guys up. But can this team go forward without Ken Walker in that lineup? I'm a bit more concerned. I'm also concerned that we haven't seen Kenny McIntosh. What is it about Kenny McIntosh? What don't I know? I know there's a lot I don't know about this team, but I'm looking at the run game, and I'm concerned because the way Ken Walker runs his style of play, he's going to miss a couple games a year. Most running backs do. It's a violent position. You have to be able to continue to be a threat when your number 1 running back isn't in there. So that's what caught my eye, is that the run game struggled. Was it simply because the offensive line? Did it have something to do with the New England box? Was it the running back? Check, D, all the above. It's all that. So you got to find a way to stay active and positive in the run game.
Yeah, I'm never, too upset with an offense if without their starter they can't get the run game going. Obviously, we saw Houston, maybe struggle once in a while after Mixon was gone. You did not see the 49ers struggle without Christian McCaffrey, though that's one game. We'll see what they look like as they continue to move forward without McCaffrey. Typically, without your starter, you're going to struggle there. I guess I always thought that Charbonnet and Walker were a little more, I don't want to say interchangeable, but Charbonnet was also a second-round pick. Like, this is not a guy that they picked up really late to kind of like a Kenny Mack, drafted in this, 6th or 7th round to be like, well, let's see what we can get out of this guy. This was another piece that you invested in. Though, Bump, I think that you've seen they're very different running backs.
Yeah, Ken Walker is the do a little bit of everything type of running back. He can shake you, run through you, run around you. He's fast. Charbonnet is kind of the I'm getting downhill and I'm going to run through you. I have the ability to make a guy miss, but for the most part, I got to hit it quickly. So how is Grubb going to design runs for him if he's in that situation again? You have to run your run game. Gonna miraculously find a run in a scheme that works perfectly. No, he's gonna have to do his thing. But here's what I also know about Zach Charbonnet, that he's capable. You can't compare him to Ken Walker because I feel like Ken Walker's of hitting and getting things going, and a lot of it is rhythm. I used to talk to Turbo about just getting into a rhythm, and sometimes it takes guys a bit longer to get into that rhythm to really find their groove and do what they do.
Yeah.
Last year he had long runs of 14, 23, 14, 10, 11, 12, 21, 15, and 12. He's capable of breaking some big ones.
All right, time for what caught my eye. I wrote initially Metcalf 56-yard touchdown, which is like, of course it caught your eye. It was the biggest play of the game, a 56-yard touchdown, but it also caught my eye because of what went wrong and what happened, and also what Metcalf has done on other huge plays that he's had for this team in the past. So I went back and looked at those stats, but I'll start with this play itself. Kyle Duggar and Christian Gonzalez just kind of stay underneath. As you guys saw, Metcalf blows right above them, blown coverage clearly. If it's on Christian Gonzalez, that is the first touchdown he's given up in 5 games as a pro.
Right.
Clear miscommunication, take advantage of it, awesome. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, good play call. Also taking advantage of an opportunity, right? You couldn't have predicted as an OC that they would blow that coverage.
No, you got to see it. Gino has to get back there, see the safety rotation, realize that DK's butt naked on a Sunday in Boston, and throw that thing. And then DK has to catch the rock. There are some things that still need to be executed. Even if it is set up and everything is aligned for you to have a big play, you still got to do it. Did you hear DK's explanation of his celebration?
Yes,
yeah,
I did.
I appreciate that. He goes, something in 6th grade history when George Washington was crossing the Delaware. That's the stance he took. I automatically thought of LeBron in Paris on the boat with the U.S. team because people were comparing the same situation. But yeah, you still got to throw, you still got to catch, you got to recognize and take advantage of defense's mistake.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And shout out to the guys up front and Noah Fant for adding additional protection there, right? If I'm going to talk about being worried about them allowing pressures in my first takeaway and the second one where it actually worked out and they stood and delivered and helped Gino, got to give them a shout out. The other one are the stats that stood out. It is the 4th longest touchdown of DK Metcalf's career. All these are the numbers that stand out. All 3 of those touchdowns, 56 yards, 73 yards, 84 yards, have been delivered by one Gino Smith.
Naturally.
And all 3 of those touchdowns, 56 yards, 73 yards, 84 yards, have come when this team has been behind or tied.
Clutch.
Isn't that interesting?
The week against the Denver Broncos, that one that resulted in a safety. You got the one to start the game. Just the timing of the penalties kind of irked me a little bit. But they're playing clean football for the most part. They're right in the middle. I think that you can always improve on some things. But I was surprised when I saw that last year. They averaged 6.5 penalties a game. This year, 6. I just felt like there were a lot of games where they were hovering around 10, 11, 12.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Makes no sense. Make it make sense.
All right, my last one here. Mine is going to be a shout out. I feel like I tend to be kind of critical and not like quite a glass half empty person, but I do that thing of like, okay, well, what went wrong? What do we need to fix? Like, what do you look back at? So I just want to give a shout out. I felt another good day for the linebackers, which you would not feel looking at 183 rushing yards. You would never think good day for the linebackers. But I thought there were a couple plays by either of them. Dotson, obviously, in overtime with a huge stop there on Stevenson. And then shout out to Jerome Baker. This is a 1st and 10 to begin the second half. Stevenson is right in the end zone. That would have been a touchdown. That would have been a touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson. Instead, Baker on great coverage. And you can't always count on your linebackers to provide that for you. But, Bump, you've said, look, I do feel that this team sacrificed some stuff with inside linebacker, but I like them in coverage, and I think that's the type of body they're going for. You saw that actually play out with stopping a touchdown there.
Yeah, that was big. You got to be able to play old school linebacker play, especially when things are packed in. You're on the goal line or short yardage situations. You got to be able to be physical and tackle. That's why these guys are typically the stronger guys on the team with the thicker necks and the broader shoulders, because you got to fill the gap. And that's what we saw from Dotson, especially late in the game when you needed it most. So he's showing he's versatile. He can do it all. He can cover, get in the space, he can fill the gap, make the big hit. I'm just hoping Jerome Baker is okay, man. He left with a hamstring injury, so we saw Tyrese. He got 68 snaps, that young man. 68 snaps. That is a lot. So I'm sorry, 44 of the 68 snaps.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to get physical, and Dotson showed that he can do that if needed.
All right, we are going to get back to the Apple Cup in about 15 minutes. Seattle Times' Mike Verell is going to join us, and then we're going to take a look around the NFL, and then we're going to open up phone lines. We're going to give you the mic. It's your time to call in at 1 p.m. Before we get to it, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Mariners took 3 of 4 from Texas and now sit just 2.5 back in the AL wildcard race. What's the real headline?
As a wise woman once said, what if it's too little too late? That wise woman is JoJo.
JoJo had a heck of a voice for like a 14-year-old back in the day.
Right?
Crazy.
She won the Masked Singer a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me.
Not at all. Hey, you're looking at this, and this is what the Mariners do. They keep you locked in, man. You have a good series against the Rangers. You show some pop in the bat. Julio looks good. Randy Rosarena goes yard. You just wish they could be a bit more consistent. So how many games have they won? 3 games in a row, I believe, so far. Let's go for 4. That's where they've been capped out so far this year. But you're taking on the New York Yankees, so you're going to have some firepower. But they're hanging in there. You're going to need some help. You take care of your end of this deal. You just might sneak in, but it's a tiebreaker that's killing these guys with the Twins.
You know what's really wild? Because Julio has managed to, by no means have a hot August or September, but has managed to be a little more consistent. His 2024 numbers, if you completely ignore home runs and just look at his slash, like 263, 319, a 705 OPS is going to end up looking not nearly as bad as this year felt. That is not me excusing it. It's me saying, man, has that been impactful. And I bring that up to say this. Julio has managed to turn that on of late. You look at his last 15, he's hitting 318. Last 7, 290. Obviously, he's got 5 home runs in his last 2 weeks of play. His last month, quite honestly, has been, probably his better collection of 30 games. That being said, nothing is more important than Julio improving. Forget making the playoffs. I mean, I would still very much like for that to happen, and that is still a possibility, so it's why we're talking about it. But nothing means anything if Julio doesn't continue to improve.
Yeah, he makes this thing go. He is the catalyst. So to see him starting to ascend a little bit is a great sign. Is it too little too late? We will find out, but what if he wasn't ascending? What if you do end the season and you don't have anything really positive to say about Julio? Yep. The offseason feels even worse. So we'll see how this thing ends, but him showing some life here.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Rams were blown out by the Cardinals 41-10 yesterday, and they could be without Cooper Kupp in addition to Puka Nacua, who is already on IR. What's the real headline?
Look, I don't root for injuries, but I am cool with them.
But I'm cool with
It feels
them.
really shady. That feels really shady, but I am cool with injuries. No one's hurt forever. Everyone will be fine.
Nah, some guys are hurt forever.
Okay, but no one here is hurt. You know who's hurt forever? The guy that broke his leg or messed up his leg in the program. And then it shows him
gosh.
in his mom's house, and like he's like worried he's not going to be able to get this NFL money, which he's absolutely not. It's devastating.
Nah, and they show him in a broke down cabin.
Right?
Man, poor guy. Listening to the game on the radio. Don't
Right?
even have a TV.
No.
On the radio.
That's the most devastating part of that entire movie.
It is, but it's real. It happens like that. But the Rams are feeling that. As soon as I saw the catch, Cooper Kupp had like a 30-something yard reception, and he gets tackled, and I see him in a huddle wince, and I go, dang, man, when it rains, it pours for the Los Angeles Rams. It hurts them, but it helps everybody else. And the NFC West is weird right now. You have the Seahawks who are 2-0. San Francisco just lost to Minnesota. The Rams don't look like they are who they used to be. The Cardinals might have just figured out they drafted one of the best receivers in the game. Like, what is going on in the NFC and the NFL in general?
Yeah.
It is a weird time, but I'm here for it.
Okay, so I had a question earlier about the Arizona Cardinals that I was sent by a listener, and I didn't have time to throw it your way, so let's talk about them initially. Someone said, is it possible the Cardinals are just going to be better than people thought? Because they had a good first half against the Bills, then fell apart and lost, and then dominated the Rams.
Yeah. Eric Williams was on our show, and he said that he felt the Cardinals were going to be a lot better than what people thought. This is good for Kyler, man. I think that he had a tough year last couple of years, right? You talk about the contract deal, then you get hurt. He had some time to reflect, and body language alone, it seems like he's having fun again, and he's not pouty McPout face. He's out there doing his thing. We know he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the game. Just can you put it together and lead a team? That's what was missing with him. He has himself a number one target. You have a good tight end. You have a number two receiver in Michael Wilson. You got a running back in James Conner. Your defensive coach is there. I'm saying the Cardinals look like they might be legit.
Let me tell you what, too. You want to talk about tests for the run game when it comes to Seattle. We just saw one, obviously, against the Patriots, allowing 180 plus in regulation on the ground. Arizona rushed for 231. Now, that's as a team, so that's almost 60 yards on 5 carries from Kyler Murray, but 122 and a touchdown on 21 carries from James Conner. You will be tested against Arizona.
Man, the game changes, but it stays the same. If you can run the football in the NFL, you're going to have opportunity to win some ball games.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Cougs stuffed Washington at the goal line on their final play to win the 2024 Apple Cup. What's the real headline?
Just know in the future, when I text you speed option to the short side, it means I'm feeling way too confident and I'm about to make a bad decision.
I don't understand the call. After watching the film, I see where they went wrong. At least I think. That's how I would coach it. You're running an option. An option means you're leaving someone unblocked to option off of them. Typically in that speed option, you're going that way. You're leaving the man on the edge, the line of scrimmage, the last man on the line of scrimmage, you are leaving him unblocked. If he crashes down on the quarterback, you toss it to the running back. If he crashes down on the running back, you keep it pushing as the quarterback. Second thing, they had the wrong quarterback in for that. Go ahead and put the backup in there. He's the better runner. So Fish pointed out that they may have blocked it wrong, and they did block it wrong. Who are you optioning? You're not going to option the middle linebacker who you left unblocked. You're supposed to cover him. It was just a disaster, man. And in those moments, when it's crunch time, it's the Apple Cup, it's 4th and 1, you have to execute at a high level. So now I look at the coaching and saying, did you prepare those boys? Because last year, 4th and 1, middle of the field, Apple Cup, Grubb dialed up a beautiful play, and Michael Penix and Romandunze executed perfectly.
Well, and he dialed up a beautiful play, and it was exactly the players that you want. When you're doing a speed option, it's like, okay, get the ball on your best player, get him to the edge, like your fastest guy. I'm really glad that you mentioned, Rodgers, and really glad that you mentioned, like, having the wrong quarterback in there, because if you had time to think, this is what we want to do in this situation, no one at any point said, how do you feel about trying it with this guy, with another quarterback?
Yeah, it was
like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit your personnel, I guess, is what I'm saying.
They're gonna have to live with that one for a while, man. They could have easily won that ball game.
I thought that they would, and that was one of the worst play calls I've seen at a goal line, which is saying something for a Seattle sports radio host. It was bad, and I did not like it. We are taking a look around the NFL coming up at 12:45, including a special game ball that was given to Russell Wilson. No, Russell did not start in this game for the Steelers. We'll explain why he got this game ball. Also, Dolphins add to their quarterback room. Obviously going to have to do that ahead of this game against Seattle without Tua Tagovailoa. Again, coming up at 12:45. Before we do Seattle Times, Mike Verell joins us next.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We had a great plan going in, and we were able to adjust as the game went on. Gino played a tremendous, watching the tape again, I thought he played a tremendous game. DK had a great game. Jackson had a great game. I mean, you can just kind of go down the list. Offensive line protected well for the most part. I mean, there's some things we got to look at, but felt like we were the aggressor throughout the course of the game. And then just to finish it off the way that we did offensively.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Seattle small business owners, there's a new way to earn extra income. It's Amazon Hub Delivery. They're looking to partner with select Seattle small businesses to assist with local delivery. You and your staff handle local Amazon deliveries, and your business earns extra income. No delivery experience is required. They're partnering with all business sizes. No business is too small. Amazon Hub Delivery is trusted local partner to help your business. Visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery.
Are you constantly dealing with a runny nose, nasal congestion, or stuffiness? Always having to clear your throat or coughing? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Rhine Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that can significantly reduce your symptoms. This long-lasting treatment is available here in my office. In a clinical study, 88% of Rhine Air patients experience a significant reduction in their symptoms. We're proud the Stern Sinus Center was recently named a nationwide center of excellence. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino. Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Safety Julian Love had one of the biggest plays of the game in the Seahawks win over the Patriots yesterday when he blocked New England kicker Joey Sly's field goal attempt with just under 4 minutes remaining. He broke down what he saw in that play post-game.
In that moment, I just feel like I got to go get it. I felt good. I was looking at my guys. Obviously, it was a long drive. They were tired. But I felt energized in that moment. And just something just told me to switch. If anybody's going to do it, I feel like I should be doing it. And so, thankfully, Reek was coming off the edge all day. Dre, Mon Jones had great pressure inside. Our interior was getting after. We were close a few times. And so, something just said, hey, I'm going to be able to come loose and just jump the thing. And so, I did.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
You gotta love baseball season. But when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seattle Times' Mike Verell joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. You know, Mike, so happy to have you on. I really had to hear it from Bump this morning, unsurprisingly, about the Apple Cup, and I could do nothing but shake my head and go, well deserved, because this was a game in which Washington fans, I'm sure, were just scratching their heads afterwards. I'm actually going to start with the very final play. Mike, what did you see at the goal line from Washington?
I don't know if I can add a lot of extra commentary, but I will say that I was standing literally exactly where the play went to, like on that corner behind the end zone, and you could see it was dead from the jump. And I just think, you know, it's been talked about so many times in terms of running that option to the short side. I think the weirder part of it to me is the decision at all when you've got a guy in Will Rogers with negative 339 career rushing yards. I don't know if he's ever had an option called for him on purpose ever in his career, in his life maybe. And I mean, it's mystifying because this is a guy, and that is not a dig on him, truly. Like, this is a quarterback that's not his skill set. That's okay. He threw for, I think, 314 yards in that game. He had been excellent. He'd been very efficient. They had just gone deep to Giles Jackson to get them in that position. And I know that, you know, Jed Fish said after the game that initially they were going to call a play, or they had called a play that was going to be a in that position to Giles Jackson, who had just had the game of his life, eight catches, 162 yards. He didn't like the look. He called timeout, and he changed the play to the option. In retrospect, I think probably throwing to the guy who had the best game of his career might have been the better decision in that position, but maybe we'll never know.
Right. But who am I?
Hey, Mike, I'm watching the game, and there's no denying, like, UW had his opportunities. 16 penalties. You probably shouldn't win that game. And it felt as if after the game that, well, it didn't feel this way. Some of the responses that I'm getting from the game, people who were there, was that the UW players just didn't feel invested in the Apple Cup because of all the transfer. There's no connection to it. You were at the game. Was that the feeling you got, or did you feel some passion behind the game?
I mean, I don't really buy that at all, because I think when you look at an undisciplined team, you look at 16 penalties and a lot of those being 15-yarders, there sure seemed to be emotion there. I don't think that was the issue. I think it was actually kind of the opposite of that. I mean, this was a team where Jed Fish said afterwards, you know, he was asked, you know, what he made of the penalties, and he said, I don't know. That's not who we are. And it seemed like a team that didn't know how to handle that moment in terms of being in kind of a weird situation on a neutral field where that's not a normal Apple Cup. And you got half crimson, half purple, and it actually was kind of a cool atmosphere. But I just think, you know, when you ask which team seemed ready for it, which team was calm in that moment, it wasn't the one that just played in a national championship game. I think that was surprising. So, you know, I get the thought that, oh, maybe this is a team full of players who don't know about this game, but it seemed, if anything, that it was a team that was too on edge, that was too excited or pumped up or emotional. And, it's hard to find another reason why you'd have 16 penalties and so many personal fouls.
Is that a coaching thing? Is it just new guys coming together? To what do you attribute so many penalties and just a general feeling of being undisciplined?
I honestly think that's a coaching thing. I mean, when you talk about, what a coach is responsible for, bringing people in and having them, you guys being around the Seahawks for so long, it's that Pete Carroll thing that everyone talked about. He gets his guys frothing at the mouth, but not over the edge, as close to the line as possible without jumping over. Well, it seemed like the Huskies were maybe 5 yards over the line to start with in that game. And, the fact that Jed Fish said afterwards, what do you make of that? And his answer was, I don't know. You have to, have the gauge of your team. You have to understand where your team is at and kind of the internal temperature. And obviously, from a player perspective, they were not prepared to have the kind of discipline that they needed to be able to win that game.
Focusing on just the quarterback situation, right? I think Will Rodgers is going to be a good quarterback. Obviously, he's shown that he can get her done. What do you think the mentality is moving forward for UW, and how do you think they're going to perform once they hit conference play?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think, when you've got a guy like Will Rodgers, he still has motivation to, be the best possible self that he can, because this is obviously a guy in his final year. No, he hasn't been at Washington before, but you could tell what this meant to him. I mean, he was in the press conference afterwards, and his eyes were red, and you can tell what it meant to him. And, this was his only crack at the Apple Cup, and to lose that game, I think it was pretty obvious how much he cared. And it'll be interesting to see, how they kind of utilize that quarterback position moving forward. I think beyond just the option play, it was kind of a weird use of the quarterbacks in general on Saturday where, Rodgers was in a rhythm. They had a chance to score at the end of the first half, and all of a sudden you bring in Damon Williams, your freshman quarterback, and they immediately punt. And with Damon, it's a talented kid, but it's a true freshman and a guy who they've shown that they don't really trust to throw beyond the line of scrimmage at this point. So you have Rodgers, you get him in a rhythm. He's connecting with Giles Jackson on deep balls. He's throwing for touchdowns, and all of a sudden you take him out of it. It just seemed on Saturday like it was a strange utilization of one of your best assets, and I'll be interested to see how they kind of amend that moving forward.
It's so weird. I'm so used, Mike, as are you, to talking about the Apple Cup as though it has bowl implications. And this is week 3 of the season, and we're just now going to see Washington open up Big Ten play. Obviously, you've got Northwestern on the 21st, Rutgers, Michigan, number 18 Michigan on October 5th. What can you safely say that we've learned about what is a very new Washington team over 3 games?
I honestly am not sure. I mean, it's a good question, and I had said repeatedly going into the Apple Cup that partially because of the September schedule, but also because of how many new players were on both teams, I don't know that we'd ever had an Apple Cup where we knew as little about both teams going into the game. Yeah. And when you come out of it, I still think that some of the questions that I had before the season are just kind of dangling there. I think when it comes to Washington, they've got skilled players on both sides of the ball. I think they've got some talented DBs, some talented wide receivers. Jonah Coleman obviously is a great running back, and Will Rodgers, I think, is a competent quarterback. I think their line play on both sides is really what is going to make the difference between this being a sneaky team and one that underwhelms. I just don't know. When you're replacing your entire offensive line, did they do enough to be able to protect Will Rodgers, to be able to run the ball consistently? They didn't run the ball very well outside of one Jonah Coleman run on Saturday. And then the defensive line, same thing. Washington State, didn't run the ball too consistently, but had a couple big ones in that game. And I'm just not sure against, physical rushing attacks like you have at Michigan, or when you go on the road to Rutgers, when you go on the road to Penn State, will UW consistently stop the run? I'm not sure about that either. So I think those big issues going into the season that you're wondering about, I still have those questions.
Yeah, I think it was clear that obviously the Cougs had the more mobile quarterback. That 3rd down and 20 at the end of the half was crucial, that he converted for a touchdown. But when you watch him play, what do you see? I mean, I think when I see him, Mike, I think you have to he's got to develop more in the pass game, but he brings a dynamic to an offense that's tough to defend.
Yeah, I mean, he was erratic in terms of efficiency in the passing game, but like you said, I mean, he was kind of able to will them out of some situations there and sort of bail them out. And there is that element of the unknown with him where he can take a broken play and flip something out of it. And I think maybe just as importantly or more importantly, they're not scared to name who their leader is offensively. And this is a guy who stepped into that role. And I think he has a certain moxie about him when you talk to him, when he talks after the game. he just has an attitude where I think he's not scared of the moment, and he's going to make plenty of mistakes, I think, but he's also going to make plenty of plays. And I think that offense kind of goes with him, and it's going to be fun to watch. But certainly you'd like him to be a more efficient quarterback and to make fewer mistakes and to throw fewer balls up for grabs. But I think as he gets older and more experienced, he'll do that.
Hey, Mike, we only have about a minute and a half left with you. And while we did bring you on to talk about the Apple Cup, I was hoping we could squeeze in a Seahawks question since I know you have a new column for the Seattle Times. Seahawks currently on top of the NFC West. We're only 2 weeks into the season, and so it's hard to tell what to make of teams around the league. Have the Seahawks proven anything to you that they can be legitimately a playoff team, legitimately good? What have you seen that feels like real progress?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at 2 wins, and it's great that they're wins, and it's great that fans are excited, and they should be excited. And I think when you look at what to be excited about, yeah, Gino has been amazing. That is by far the biggest thing. You look at this cornerback play, and I think you can feel pretty sure at this point that combo of Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon might be among the best in the league. But outside of those things, I think there's just a lot that we don't know for sure at this point. I mean, can this defense stop the run? We don't know that. Obviously, they didn't do that a year ago, and I know a whole new scheme, new coaches, all of those things. And the Patriots play that blend of football, but we still have to see that. And then on the other side, can Ryan Grubb really consistently run the kind of offense he wants to with this offensive line? With as many unknowns as they have at right tackle, really at both of the guard spots, can they be the offense that they want to be every week? Where, against the Broncos, they found the running game in the second half, and then yesterday they don't run the ball essentially at all. And Gino has the kind of game that he's been hoping to have. So, I think there's a lot to be excited about, but when it comes to like what kind of team this is, what their ceiling is, I really think that no one has any clue what this team is yet or what they will be.
He is Seattle Times columnist Mike Verell, kind enough to join us to talk Apple Cup, a bit of Seahawks here. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Some big surprises around the league through 2 weeks. That's next.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Seahawks host the Miami Dolphins on September 22nd. Just open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter for your chance to win.
In the back of the end zone, DK. Does he have his feet in it now?
You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Do it every day, September 13th through September 17th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Holy catfish!
Sure, you can fill up at any gas station, but at any gas station, could you score 2 tickets to a Seahawks game? Sure can't. So head to a 76 or Conoco station and turn your next pit stop into a touchdown. When you buy 8 or more gallons with the Fuel Forward app, you can enter to win 2 Seahawks tickets. Next stop, Lumen Field. See official rules for details. Valid July 29th to December 15th, 2024. Copyright 2024 Phillips 66 Company. All rights reserved.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years? Like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models. Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Hey, babe. Yeah, the bank password is moneybags, but a $sign instead of the S.
Mr. Moneybags here is about to get his identity stolen.
Wait, what?
If he used 1Password, he can share logins, credit cards, and other important information with just his wife, not the whole store. Sir, your card's been declined.
Again?
Security is complicated. 1Password isn't. And right now, get a free 2-week trial at onepassword.com. That's 2 free weeks at onepassword.com.
Well, it's buck season at Pacific Power Batteries with our $10 battery bucks for your next trip when you come and buy $100 worth of merchandise. Yes, these are for our dear customers who could use the dough. Pacific Power Batteries has lots of batteries for all of your outdoor gear this fall season. At our stores, some folks might get that deer in the headlights look at the variety of batteries for just about anything. Family owned since 1985, Pacific Power Batteries with batteries for everything.
Are you looking for a construction loan to build your dream home? Are you a local builder needing a better financing option for your next spec project? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Stop wasting time with local banks and credit unions and their endless guidelines. We're the experts for common sense residential construction loans. We lend our own money, we make our own decisions. And if your deal makes sense, we'll get it done fast with flexible terms. For homeowners, we advise you every step of the way with things like budget and timeline, ensuring the completion of your dream home. For builders, Legacy's not only your lender, we'll source your next deal, provide permitting services, and if you're short on equity, we'll invest alongside of you. Legacy Group Capital has lent more than $1 billion, helping over 130 local builders and hundreds of homeowners. We can help you.
Construction loans don't have to be hard. Borrow smart with a common sense construction loan from Legacy Group Capital. Visit LegacyG.com. LegacyG.com.
Uh-oh, looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A game. Talk to the Hawk, 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
The home of the Seahawks.
West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction and Peyronie's disease using acoustic wave therapy. No pills and no shots. But it's not our success stories that separate us from the other clinics. It's how we interact with our patients. From your first call, our medical staff will take the time to answer your questions, whether it's about your ED, how our treatment works, or even about the cost. Our goal is to inform and educate you so you're comfortable when you come in for your first visit. So if you're tired of frustrating nights, you're ready to get off Viagra and put an end to your ED or Peyronie's disease, stop living with this problem and do something about it. Give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. The majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, you know, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are taking a look around the NFL before we open up phone lines. I am going to tell you the caller question now so that you can think about your answer before you call in. It's just simple. You have the same decision Mike McDonald did. Who gets your game ball? Who gets your game ball after this win? Seahawks now 2-0 to start the season. So think about your answer. Don't call in yet. We'll give you the number and a prompt to call in just a minute. We are going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who ended up getting a win over the Denver Broncos. Justin Fields shared the Steelers award. Justin Fields shared that the Steelers awarded Russell Wilson with a game ball, even though he didn't play in his return to Denver.
I mean, I think we all know Russ kind of did dirty last year, so I know he wished he could have played today in this game, but it's awesome, getting a win for him. He got a petty game ball, so yeah, it's great getting a dub for that, for sure.
Got a petty game ball when you win against your former team.
I love that.
Me too.
I really love that, man. And I hope Russell loved it too. I hope he embraced it and had fun with it, because he hasn't been able to see the field. And Justin Fields, if he continues to play like this, he's not even playing amazing, right? He was 13 of 20, 117 and 1 touchdown. If they can get a run game, defense can play decent, they might start opening up the playbook for this dude, man. So it's a tough situation for Russell to be in. Sometimes you just need something to make you smile. Hopefully this was that for Russell.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns also got a win, beating Jacksonville 18-13. Browns running back Jerome Ford gave a hilarious description of Jameis Winston's play calls in the huddle.
What's he like when he steps on the field for those moments in the huddle and kind of talking to you guys and directing you guys?
He's a great leader, man. We make a joke that when he calling plays, it sounds like he got a surprise to tell.
Yo, listen, Jameis Winston might be one of the most intentionally or unintentionally funny voices in the NFL.
Dude is hilarious. I can imagine him getting in the huddle. All right, guys, guess what? We going twins right. Okay, on two now, on two. I can see Winston just being a fool in the huddle, man. He's probably a great teammate, man. Everything I see, he seems fun to be around.
What would a real play call sound like if I said, describe this like you're telling me a secret?
Secret, hey guys, we're gonna go trips right. All right, don't tell nobody. Trips right. Okay, I'm being shotgun now, shotgun. Okay, and we're gonna throw that thing. They ain't gonna see it coming. Let's go break.
So exciting. I'd be like, yeah, let's do this. I'll run through a wall. All right, next up, we have some back-to-back injury updates here. First for the Chiefs, then the Dolphins. Isaiah Pacheco, running back for the Chiefs, is confirmed to have fractured a fibula and will have surgery this week. Obviously, awful news for him. He's expected to miss at least 6 weeks. That timeline normally about 6 to 8. So, per multiple reports, the Chiefs are bringing back a familiar face. Running back Kareem Hunt is going to be in for a workout on Tuesday.
Man, the football gods are making a three-peat really difficult for the Chiefs so far. They're 2-0, right? But you sneak by the Bengals. Pat Mahomes didn't have a great performance against the Ravens. Now your running back is hurt. Xavier Worthy didn't do much this game. It's going to be challenging, but it's supposed to be challenging. This is the NFL. And if it ain't the Seahawks, I want the Chiefs to go ahead and win it because I want to see some history. Yeah. But it's going to be tough, man. It wasn't going to be easy to begin with, but with this injury, it makes it that much tougher.
I will issue a warning to Chiefs fans, of which probably none are listening, but I will issue this warning right now. Listen carefully. You have the best quarterback in football. You have gone on an unbelievable run of not just trips to AFC championships and wins, but actual Super Bowl wins. You will find yourself at some point, probably soon, thinking, God, we just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
We just can't get lucky. The football gods, why are they doing this to us? And when you think that, I need you to hit pause and I need you to stop yourself. And I need you to look at the Super Bowl, like ticket stubs or, jerseys that you've owned or whatever it is, and look at your quarterback and look at your entire situation. And I need you just to chill.
Yeah.
I need you to calm down.
Just relax.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I know that it's going to happen. There will be Chiefs fans out here.
No one feels bad for you.
No one feels bad.
We don't even hate you.
No.
We don't hate you.
I
Not
don't
yet,
feel bad
at
for
least.
you.
I just don't feel bad for you at all.
I simply don't feel bad.
It's like when I see a bad kid running around messing with people, then he falls and scrapes his knee and starts crying. I go, that's what you get.
I don't feel bad for you.
Not at all.
The Dolphins are signing a quarterback, former longtime Ravens backup Tyler Huntley, and Pro Bowler. Miami's maintained that current backup Skylar Thompson will get the start against Seattle this upcoming Sunday as long as Tua Tagovailoa remains in concussion protocol, which, let's be honest, he's probably going to. So Seattle probably going to see Thompson under center on Sunday.
Put some respect on his name. Pro Bowler. Tyler Huntley. Okay, they're getting a Pro Bowler over there. Yeah, of course, Skylar is going to get the start this week because he's been in the program for a while. He understands the offense, and let's see if he can get in and out the huddle and make good decisions. If not, you have a quarterback that brings something to the table that he doesn't, which is just mobility, and that can always save you when things break down. It's getting interesting in Miami. Just keep the bad times rolling because I would love for the Seahawks to start off 3-0.
That's kind of an empty Pro Bowl nomination, though.
Hey, Curtis,
that was the joke. He started 4 games that year.
Curtis.
4 games.
That was the joke, Curtis.
And he had
2
Pro Bowl
touchdowns
play.
and 3
interceptions. And he had Pro Bowl play. 2 touchdowns. That's more touchdowns than I have.
Curtis, man, Curtis said, nah. That was the joke, Curtis.
Well, might it get more interesting in Miami? Rex Ryan wondered what it could take for the Dolphins to land in a trade. Russell Wilson.
Why would Pittsburgh trade him? If not unless it's a first-round pick, they're not going to trade him because their situation is good. Everybody knows you need 2 quarterbacks in this league, and so no. But I'm telling you, you've seen it. What's the price of a starting quarterback in this league? It's a first-round pick. So the only way you make that move for Russell Wilson is if you're a team that has lost their starting quarterback and you think you are a playoff contending team. I don't know, is there one like that right now? There very well could be in Miami, correct?
I love two things about this, which is obviously Rex's initial point is very interesting and it's fun fodder. The other is in the background exactly what I do as a lead host too, which is
Yeah. It's like when you get going about the Mariners, I just sit back and be like, yup, tell them.
I know that's right.
You right. What else?
What else? What else? Basically Rex being like, it's really fun to wonder if Miami will trade for Russ and if that's something we could end up seeing. However, Tua's not going to stay in concussion protocol all year long. And also the Steelers don't have incentive to trade Russ. They might still need him this year. And I don't know if Miami's going to give up a first rounder for Russell Wilson.
Russell's not worth a first rounder.
He's not. No offense.
Now, if Tua, no offense to Russ. Now, if Tua were to say, I'm done for the rest of the year, I'm going to retire, you might entertain it because offensively you have enough to make a push, but I don't think Russell has shown you enough in the last 2 years to make you think that he is the guy to put you over the top and come in and understand an offense and throw the football on time. There are things that Russ needs to work through, and we thought he was going to work through it in Pittsburgh.
All right, well, you guys have to work through something. That is who gets your game ball for the Seahawks. Easy question with a million possible answers after a win. So call in now, 866-979-3776. You are Mike McDonald in this scenario, and the Seahawks have just beat the Patriots in Week 2. Who gets your game ball? 866-979-3776. Your call's next.
This is Seattle Sports.
DK's wide open. 10, 5, strides in, touchdown, Seahawks.
I've never been around a quarterback who had as big of a chip on his shoulder than Gino.
Said has time. Now he's going to get hit. He's going to go down. Well, Leonard Williams just drove his man back, just what the doctor ordered.
This is a great example of this game. Hey, when the offense needs to pick the defense up, they did it. When defense could help the offense by getting a critical stop, we got the stop.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Equal bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Summer is here, and now's the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long-term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
At least for me, no matter how good a weight loss plan is, no matter how good the food tastes, I need a level of accountability. I need somebody watching and monitoring me to make sure I'm actually sticking with it.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Brock Hewart. If you're retired or retiring soon and concerned about the future, call Tila Mortgage today to find out the benefits of a reverse mortgage. Tila's been locally owned and trusted right here in the Seattle Metro for over 25 years. Just ask yourself, do I settle for a retirement that just gets me by? I say no. Tila will see if you can retire more comfortably with a home equity conversion mortgage. They can help you refinance your current mortgage and convert a portion of your home's equity into a line of credit, providing benefits like no monthly mortgage payments or cash back to pay off bills, do home improvement projects, or build up a cash reserve for safety and peace of mind. Plus, you get to keep your home. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
This is Seattle Sports.
DK's wide open. 10, 5, strides in, touchdown, Seahawks.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Falcons and Eagles meet tonight on ESPN for Monday Night Football. Atlanta looking to avoid an 0-2 start to the season after making one of the biggest signings of the offseason and free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins to fix a faltering offense. It hasn't paid dividends yet, but let's see if they can take off tonight. Kickoff at 5:15 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Need I remind you that you have been waiting months and months and months for football to finally come back. You are 2 weeks into the season, and your Seattle Seahawks are 2-0. They just got the first road win under Mike McDonald. This one against the New England Patriots, a team you probably hate. Again, it was a 23-20 win on the road, kicking a field goal in OT to take this one back home. Number one in the NFC West. Let's see if they can hang on to it. Who gets your game ball after this one? Gino was absolutely phenomenal. There were guys on defense that had great games, though the defense did struggle against Ramondre Stevenson. Still, is it Mike McDonald? Is it Gino? Is it Ryan Grubb? Is it Tyler Lockett, who had 2 catches, but one of them critical to getting into field goal territory? 866-979-3776. 866-979-3776. Call right now. Who gets your game ball? Let's go to Robert in Issaquah. Robert, who gets your game ball after this one?
Love, definitely. That defense block right there, that field goal block was awesome. That just reminded me of old school Seahawks special teams back in the 80s and early 90s, how we relied so much on special teams and defense, to get us into those critical plays. My concern about the Seahawks, what I saw today, the slow starts and the play calling in the beginning was very concerning. The defense looks stellar, but our offense only averaging 5.7 a play. but only giving up 4.7 a play on defense. That's amazing. But having 45 yards rushing, that's scary. That's got to improve, and I hope we get Walker back soon because you cannot rely on Gino Smith having back-to-back 300 games, through the season. He's great. The man has the whereabouts to guide us, but he needs a strong running game. Our defense has yet, I believe, to find itself, and it's even going to be better than we expected, I believe, under Mike McDonald. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, Robert. A lot to take away from Robert here. Again, call in 866-979-3776. Bump, pick one of many things, to take from Robert. He made a lot of really good points.
He gave the game ball to Julian Love, and I think when we did our difference makers, what we call our game ball on the post-game show, I want to say one of us did choose Julian Love. And the reason why you chose him is because of that block. Exactly. And the inside to that is that he told Reek Willen, go to the other side. Let me get this side. I'm going to block it. He does exactly that. The week before, he has 12 tackles and an interception. Julian Love has slowly become the leader of this defense. And I think once Uchenna gets back, you're going to have two out there. But right now, J. Love is holding it down. And then as far as getting the run game going, you have to. Asking Gino to do what he did every single week, it just isn't realistic. There are some guys. There's one guy you can ask to do that every single week, and that's Pat Mahomes, and he hasn't done it once this year in the NFL yet. So let's be realistic. You cannot not have a run game and expect your quarterback just to carry you to the promised land. Even Pat Mahomes had a run game. Aaron Rodgers had a run game. Drew Brees had a run game. You must have some sort of balance. Balance in that you have the threat to break one big or put together an 11-play, 70-yard drive like New England did, just running the football. Ran it 9 out of 11 plays. You got to reserve the right to do that. That's going to do nothing but help Gino in the pass game.
866-979-3776. Your question is, who gets the game ball for this win now that the Seahawks are 2-0? And if you have an answer, why aren't you calling? 866-979-3776. Let's go to Terrell calling from Seattle. Terrell, who gets your game ball?
Oh, this is Terrell. What's up, Bumpin'? Hi, Stacey.
What up, dog?
Hi.
Game ball will definitely have to go to Gino, man. I just feel like the last two games, man, he's just been like really even keel and just like ice water, like not showing too much emotion, but just enough to get his offense going. And like, I just feel like, man, yesterday, even though there was some drop passes at pivotal times, he just stayed, consistent and just still delivered the ball, ran around, got out of the pocket, did what he needed to do, and just was a, superb athlete yesterday.
Thanks for the call, Terrell. What'd you make of Gino's day and Terrell's call?
Man, one, big ups, Terrell. Thanks for calling in. Two, my game ball went to Gino. And it went to Gino because at some point in the game, maybe about a quarter in, you knew Gino was going to have a great performance. He knew he was going to have a great performance. He's getting on the line, and he's talking to Grubb upstairs, and I guarantee they're having conversations where Grubb is like, hey, man, we're going to need something out of you because the line isn't getting the push. We don't have the run that we used to. At halftime, you're talking and saying, look, I'm going to need you to be smart with the football. Gino knew he had to be dang near perfect for them to win that ball game, and he still went out and did exactly what he did. So, my game ball, this is the easiest one I've given out in a couple years because Gino was on point.
Well, and frankly, it's one of Gino's best games in a couple years, and we say that knowing that he was Comeback Player of the Year. AP Comeback Player of the Year in 2022, and it still was a wildly impressive performance because you're right, didn't have a run game for support, just did enough. Had a defense that was, improving overall, but still allowed, 185 plus on the ground from the Patriots. It is hard for me to see this performance and not just be intrigued by how far Gino could go. Again, like I find that there are lots of guys around the league, whether it's Derek Carr through 2 games with the Saints, whether it's Matthew Stafford in a second stint. He was a number 1 overall pick, but in a second stint with the Rams, like guys that are either older, maybe with a new team, maybe took a somewhat non-traditional path to finding an ultimate level of success with a team. And it's just fascinating to see Gino do that. Now, how far can he actually go?
Yeah, some people are set up for success and get opportunities and rise to the top. Others, you have success, you fail, you sit for a while, you figure some things out, and you get into the right situation, and you do things that Gino's doing.
I almost said the Gino. Who gets the game ball? 866-979-3776. Call now. Let's go to Gary in Kennewick. Gary, who gets your game ball?
I think Jason Myers should get it.
Fair. Gary said no further questions at this time.
I mean, he hit some clutch field. He hit some clutch field goals there. I mean, that's pressure right there.
You know what, Gary? You're not wrong. Go ahead, Gary.
I was just going to say, besides, he sits there the whole game, not in the game, and then he has to walk out there and perform and kick a field goal for a winning touchdown. You don't think that's pressure? That's a ton of pressure.
Absolutely, Gary. I totally agree. And Mike McDonald agrees. He gave Jason Myers the closer ball. Jason Myers did get a game ball after this one. What'd you think about Jason?
I think he was clutch. 3 field goals, and that was the difference in the game. We're having a conversation post-game about, should kickers get game balls because they have one job and they do that job. And I'm arguing for Myers. I go, yeah, but no one else can do his job, and the pressure behind it. And it was a candid conversation. And I think we settled on – I think we didn't settle. I think I held my position. There were a couple with me, and then others held their position. But I've kicked before in high school, but I've kicked. And even a PAT in high school is a bit of pressure. Like, you miss that PAT, it changes the identity of a game. So because no one can do his job, he's the only guy on the roster that can do it. I think it's fitting that he does get a game ball.
866-979-3776. Call now, 866-979-3776. Let's go to Rudy in Brooklyn. Rudy, who gets your game ball? Oh, do we have Rudy? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, Rudy, who gets your game ball?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, without a doubt, it's Gino Smith. Gino Smith led that team even when, it was kind of tough. And, the defense, it didn't really struggle, but it just had to deal with a tough run game. And, we had no run game and no productivity from the run game, and Gino was just doing what he was doing. And he gets a lot of feedback on, a lot of negative feedback on social media for, him being like a second-rate quarterback. And I feel Gino's balling better than any quarterback or just about as good as any quarterback in the NFL right now. So hands on, definitely has to go to Gino.
Hey, Rudy, I have a question for you. How long have you been living in New York?
Oh, all my life.
Okay, so you remember, did you grow up like a Jets fan, presumably? Or
no,
aware? Okay.
Always. From 1982, I've been a Seahawks fan.
But do you remember Gino's time with the Jets and kind of how that was covered there?
Oh, they hammered him.
Okay, I was going to say.
That dispute.
Yeah, tell me what that was like.
He got an dispute with the linebacker, and the linebacker. Oh, it was just, they tore him up. They were saying, he was a bust. He was a wasted draft pick. He'll never, be any productive for the Jets. And even when he went to the Giants with Eli Manning, when he replaced Eli Manning and broke that streak, they gave him hell for that too. I think when he came over to Seattle, it was just a brand new atmosphere with Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll really put any pressure on him. He just let him be able to be productive in the offense that they presented towards him, and he was able to do his thing. Man,
love it. Thanks for the call, Rudy, and for answering my questions. I was just curious from someone bump in New York what it was like with Gino over there, because they did, he was raked over the coals.
You know what I got to say? Rudy, what up, son?
Oh, yeah.
How we doing, B? Straight up. Appreciate the call, man. Yeah, New York, the East Coast in general, the media over there is brutal. They're a bit more rough around the edges than we are here. This is a cultural thing. It ain't bad. That's just the region that they're in. And that can do two things to somebody. It can tear them down and they'll be there forever, or it can make them tougher. And in this situation, you go from New York, one of the toughest media markets to be in, to the West Coast in Seattle. When it's
nice.
We're just a bit nicer and we support our guys. So Gino is probably looking at the situation here and saying, this is cake, man. Like even my mistakes, people don't jump on me as much as they did over there. But that's what life is going through experiences and learning and try to grow from it.
Let's go to Mark in Port Orchard. Mark, who gets your game ball?
Absolutely Ryan Grubb. That guy did his job at Washington, and by the way, on Saturday he would have rolled over if he was dead watching the last play of that game. He gets it because he has made adjustments during the course of the game, and he has laid out an offense that has demonstrated over a limited amount of time, but for the first 2 weeks, he's done a good job, and I think that might be as good a hire as Mike McDonald.
Thanks for the call, Mark. I want Bump for you to talk about Ryan Grubb because Mark's introducing a new award receiver for Game Ball. However, I just have to say Mark has introduced to me a wildly hilarious new concept, which is saying he would have been rolling over in his grave if he was dead. I'm going to start saying that for everything. I'm going to be like, yo, let me tell you what. Right now, if Marshawn Lynch was dead, he'd be rolling over in his grave with that run right there. That was offensive. That was offensively bad. I'm going to say that for anything. You know what? Michael Bumpus would be rolling over in his grave right now if he was dead because that Apple Cup was wild. Mark, that was hilarious.
Good for highlighting Grubb because we talked about it earlier in the show. There's nothing. He's been a coordinator for a while, and there's nothing more frustrating than when you have a game plan and they're taking something away. You absolutely cannot execute. It limits your playbook, and you have to adjust. You always go into games anticipating some type of adjustment, but for someone or some team to almost completely shut down one aspect of your game makes you have to make even more adjustments. And the way that he did it in real time, and then the way that also Gino kind of stepped up to the challenge. It was beautiful, man. It was a stressful game, though. I mean, if you don't have the third down stop by the defense, if you don't have the block by Jay Love, you don't even have that opportunity. So it's always a team sport. You can always point to like 4 or 5 situations or plays that kind of influence the trajectory of a game. But I'm not mad at the Grubb.
Not at all. Great calls so far from everyone. Really enjoying everyone's answers here. Let's go to Vic calling from Seattle. Vic, who gets your game ball?
Well, hi, Bump and Stacey. And first time I called in, and Stacey, you just crack me up all the time. And Bump is the best analyst I think I've listened to. But Charbonnet gets my game ball for these reasons. First of all, we have big shoes to fill with Walker being out. But second of all, I looked at the statistics and comparing him to Stevenson from the Patriots. Stevenson had 23 touches running passing for 91 yards. Charbonnet had 19 touches running and passing for 79 yards. So you average those out, Stevenson had 3.91 yards per attempt. Charbonnet was 3.63. So they were really pretty close. And then finally, though, what was Stevenson's last attempt? It was the stuff on third down in overtime. No gain. What was Charbonnet's last attempt? A 9-yard gain in overtime that set up the easy field goal. So for me, Charbonnet gets the game ball.
I like the answer, Vic. Now, it's not who got my game ball, and that might be the only person we have saying Zach Charbonnet, given the run game didn't take off. But that final answer about when it mattered most, which running back delivered for his team, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah. We also had this this award that we do during the last hour of the post game called Unsung Hero. And I think Zach Charbonnet is a perfect candidate for the Unsung Hero because of the things that he mentioned. When you needed a play, he made a play. That third down pass for 7 yards, boom, that gain of 9, that rushing touchdown from 1 yard out, the pass pro that he presented out there. Zach Charbonnet was utility man. Didn't get the yards on the ground that you would have liked, but was in there the whole game. And if he doesn't do the things that he did do well, you don't win this game.
Let's go to Evan calling from Puyallup. Evan, who gets your game ball?
Yeah, it's thanks for taking my call. It's got to be Tyler Lockett. The guy never complains. A lot of people want him released in the offseason. He came up big last week and this week, not getting a lot of market share in the target game, but Gino needed him. It's a huge play towards the end of the game, running to his left for his life. Throws it to Tyler Lockett, and talk about unsung hero. Tyler Lockett always coming to play and being there when we need him.
All right, thanks for the call, Evan. Evan says, look, Gino's going to get plenty of love. Everyone else is going to get plenty of love, but I want the game ball to go to Tyler. He's an unsung hero in this one.
Tyler Lockett, if he doesn't go for like 100 and a touchdown, he's the unsung hero president. And he's always going to do something in the game, whether it's
that's true.
one big catch, pass interference.
Clutch moment.
Yeah, he's going to have his moments. So I'm all for giving Tyler Lockett his flowers. And I'll say it again. The thing about Tyler Lockett, he had 2 targets, really 4, 2 were pass interferences. He didn't have the game that obviously he would want or his teammates would want, but he's not going to pout about it, man. He is going to be just a great teammate. He's going to show up to work.
Sell you a home.
And then he'll show up next week and just wait his turn. When it's his turn to ball out, he's going to take the opportunity.
All right, let's go to Marcus in Burlington. Marcus, who gets your game ball?
So 2 things. Number 1, my game ball goes to Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, he just was there every single time you needed him, and I love how much the broadcasters struggle to say his name. And Bump, I gotta say something to you, okay? If the Seahawks don't go to the Super Bowl, I want the Super Bowl to be Detroit versus Buffalo.
Okay.
Tell me why.
Okay, Detroit versus Buffalo. Tell you why.
That's right.
Detroit hasn't won a Super Bowl, and the Buffalo Bills lost like 4 straight. They haven't won a Super Bowl either. Is that correct?
There you go. There you go. A new team's going to win a Super Bowl if those 2 play. But I'd like the Seahawks over that. So
thanks for the call.
I just don't need Kansas City to win. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel you.
I forgot we were talking about
like
that.
So, but we both have kind of the same angle. You want to see history. I want to see history. You just want to see some fresh blood. I can get with that.
Love you both. Take care.
Thanks, Marcus.
I love that I passed the test.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, I feel like I would have lost some credibility as an analyst if I did not pass that test.
They both wear blue. Let's go to Nelson in Kent. Nelson, who gets your game ball?
Yo, Bump, Stace, congrats to your Cougars, Bump. They deserved it.
Thanks, brother.
Real quick before I give my game ball, I'm all over town. I live in Kent, but I'm in Issaquah. I'm in East, South, wherever. I come out of, I won't say what city, but I come out of QFC literally 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and to my left is Rick Riz in a Mariners sweatshirt, and I stopped to talk with him for like 3 minutes. Really nice guy.
Nicest guy.
My game ball, and I actually want to, I remember last year, Stacy, maybe you'll remember this, when I called to criticize Jerry, and someone called right after, and there was like a little war between me and him going, and he's like, Hancock, that's our number 3 next year. Okay. Anyway, so where does Gino haters at?
Yeah, let's get to who gets your game ball.
Gino. Absolutely Gino. Nobody else. And I am so tired of this notion that, Gino's good, but he needs things around him to be good. No, that's every QB. If you don't have some weapons, if you don't have some blocking, this isn't a one-man show. But Gino put on a one-man show yesterday because he was throwing dimes left and right, getting the ball out quick. Grubb wasn't able to call the game he wanted to call because the O-line can't block. Gino is a baller, and it's about time our fans start to pay that man some respect because week one drive in, we had fans on Twitter, and I could show you, I could screenshot it all day. We had fans on Twitter calling for Sam Howell. Get out of here.
Who's still calling for Sam Howell?
MVP.
You said week 1.
Week one.
I can show you if you want. Anyway, Gino, that's it. And I'm tired of it. Let's go. Peace. Go Mariners.
Thanks for the call, Nelson. Nelson said, I'm giving the game ball to Gino, best quarterback in the NFL.
I'll give Nelson this. He's been praising Gino for a while.
Oh, yeah. Nelson's, yeah.
He's not just jumping on the bandwagon. He's been supporting Gino with numbers and stuff. He texts in all the time. And, yeah, I'm with you. It's Gino, man. It could be a lot of people. I'm not mad at Gino. No one said DK yet. You got JSN, J Love. I'm all for it.
All right, let's get to Martin here. Martin, you are giving out the final game ball. Who gets your game ball?
Well, I was going to say Jordan Love, but we got to give my boy DK some love, man.
All right, there we go.
He balled out, Went what was it, 135?
Yeah, 129, yeah.
That's all we need right there.
Exactly. All right, Martin giving it to DK. He was going to go Julian Love and said, you know what, let's add a new name here. No one's mentioned DK Metcalf, and it's so weird because JSN obviously takes the spotlight there. Gino takes the spotlight. DK with a very quiet 129 yards.
Yeah, it's he had the type of game that you expect. There's a lot of pressure on DK to play like this every single game. And in this offense with the weapons around him, that's not reality. He needs about three or four games like this a year, and I think you're getting your money's worth out of him because you know that he's going to make big plays in the red zone. He is going to go across the middle and make some plays. But to ask him to put up a $128 and a touchdown every week when you have JSN, Tyler Lockett, and then hopefully Ken Walker once the run game gets going, it's not realistic. And it's not favorable for the team either. You want people to take their chances and have their turns because then that just opens him up in the long run. I'm glad he had that type of game, man, because as an elite athlete, you have an ego, and you got to feed that ego. Everyone has an ego. Everyone here has an ego. It has to be fed a little bit, and he got his, man, so keep working.
I don't have an ego.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. We are going to get to what I need to know at 45 after. You can send your questions in anytime, though. You don't need to wait until then. 866-979-3776. Again, 866-979-3776. Quickly, before we get to foul territories, Scott Brun, the Seattle Seahawks are coming back home, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Hawks take on the Dolphins in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chance to win. The contest runs through Tuesday, September 17th. That is tomorrow. Foul territory, Scott Brun joining us next.
This is Seattle Sports.
There's the field goal attempt. It's blocked. And it's going to roll back into the end zone.
And I just shot the gap, skinnied up, got my hands up, got a block.
Charbonnet gets the handoff, and he's going to dive in. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Just felt good to win. I think the past 2 weeks we've really shown how close of a team we are when battling adversity. So, I mean, we only going to get stronger.
Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Your home is your most valuable asset. If you are sick, you go to a doctor. And when something is wrong with your home, you call an expert. Did you know over time sidewalks and driveways can sink and crack, causing trip hazards or worse? Matt Vey Foundation Repair is the industry leader in concrete repairs. Their foam injection process corrects concrete problems in a matter of minutes. And their Pentec concrete floor coatings will add durability and style to most concrete surfaces. Call now for a free estimate. Also ask about payment options and financing. Matt Vey Foundation Repair. Go MattVey.com. Rock built, rock solid.
Uh-oh. Looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A-game. Talk to the Hawk. 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh,
don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game.
The home of the Seahawks. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
Gino Smith was sacked 3 times, hit 7, and had 5 passes dropped by his wide receivers yesterday. But as DK Metcalf said, he put the team on his back in the end, throwing for 327 yards and a touchdown. His teammate Leonard Williams spoke about what he means to the team after the game.
I mean, I have the utmost confidence in him when he has the ball in his hands. Every time offense takes the field, I'm just happy that they have the ball in his hands. And, it's super exciting for me to see this in him as well, just because I got drafted to the Jets my rookie year, and Gino was there, and, a whole bunch of stuff happened. I ended up coming out here last year, and he's, matured so much since the last time I seen him. He's such a leader, really takes control of the offense and leads the team in a great way.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Looking for fine jewelry this fall? Good news! Seattle's favorite jeweler for more than 40 years now has 2 locations in the area. Come visit us in our beautiful new store with the biggest selection at South Center Square in Tukwila. Create your own engagement ring with the widest range of diamonds and gemstones and discover unique, fine jewelry designed by our in-house team. No matter your budget, our friendly team is here to help guide you in finding that perfect piece that speaks to you. Visit ShaneCo.com to find your closest store and hours. We can't wait to see you. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, let's talk Mariners with Foul Territory host Scott Brun. Scott, how's it going?
I'm going well. I want to know how the city of Seattle's going with their relationship with the baseball team right now. Like, are we back in it, kind of? How are we feeling here?
Yeah, it's kind of, Scott, as you know, this is a team that has kind of been in and out very late into season, so it's not unfamiliar territory to find ourselves late in September going, well, maybe. What if? No matter what they've shown you, we're just, well, maybe they'll change.
Right. What are the scenarios? What are the tiebreakers? You're used to doing that whole deal. I get that. I love the use of the word territory in your response
yes.
too. But yeah, for me, I mean, looking at it, with our show and a more national view of the baseball landscape, it still is hard for me to see them getting in. I would say the percentage chance, if you look at whatever, Fangraphs or one of those sites smarter than me puts together, I'm assuming that it's still quite low, maybe in the 10% or less range for them to sneak in with a week and a half to go.
It's the tough part about being a fan, especially now, is finding out what to believe in, really. You know what I mean? And we're looking at the last, 2 or 3 games, and we're saying, all right, do we believe again? You think it's going to be tough for them to get in. What do you believe to be true about this Mariners team minus the rotation? We all know that rotation is fire, but what do you believe in when it comes to the Mariners?
Well, I believe in what you're talking about, that if this team was in a playoff series and they got hot at the right time, they could make a run all the way to the finish line based on this rotation. I don't even think we're appreciating how good it has been with this rotation to be in its prime and healthy basically the entire season. You just don't get that. Like, look over to the Dodgers right now and all of the studs that they had, and they were like 8, 9, 10 deep. Their rotation, they just lost Tyler Glass now too. Like, look at the Seattle side, and that's why it'll be such a shame if they're not able to put this all together and at least get into the postseason and give themselves a shot. But at the same time, it is still the problem that we looked at for the entire year. It's like the offense is not built to be a World Series winning offense. There is too much swing and miss in this offense. It has been a nice little boost, a nice little burst for a little bit of time right now, including the sweep this weekend. But it's against a non-playoff team. Like, the Rangers are not going to be in the postseason this year. They've been out of it for the last month and a half. I know they were a World Series winning team last year, but times change. Year to year, it changes. So for me, for the most part, it's just looking like it's too little too late. I know the bullpen has had its ups and downs in the second half of the season too, which is a little bit weird. Some of the guys on our show said, maybe do you look at the fact that some of these starters could have gotten an extra inning here and there, and they were pulled early because Seattle is such a scripted ball club, or at least they were. I can't speak much to what Dan Wilson's doing yet. I know about him as a person, but I don't know how things are being executed. I just know that the front office would be going very clearly over a script, which is not how games work. And sometimes it works out great, sometimes it doesn't. But the problem here is the Minnesota Twins have fallen apart over the last few weeks. That's really the only reason we're even having this conversation about is the season still alive. Because otherwise, if the Twins even just played 500 ball over the last month or two, we wouldn't be talking about this. The Astros are taking the AL West, and that third wild card would be wrapped up already. Because the Twins have been so damn bad, the Tigers and Mariners still have a shot. But I believe even for Seattle, you have to look at tiebreakers. There's no game 163 anymore. So Seattle lost the season series to the Twins. So it's 2.5, but it's really 3.5 games back.
Yeah, Scott, let's talk big picture because you're absolutely right. I'm going to start with Julio. You mentioned, hey, this team, the way that they were built, they're also built around Julio. And when Julio has a bad season, as we saw obviously this year, this team goes nowhere fast. Thankfully, he's been heating up just a bit. In his last 15, he's slashing 318, 356, 500. It, like you said, is too little too late. But did you find this season changed your opinion in any way of Julio? And where does your opinion on him and his ceiling and his potential in this lineup stand today?
I think he still has the superstar potential, and yeah, he had a bad year. Injuries, sure, a little bit, but for the most part, even when he was out there, it was the super slow start. Sounded like there were some tweaks in the offseason that he quickly ditched once it wasn't working for him. So you add it up, and you can just kind of tumble quickly. So I'm actually not too concerned about him. The concern I have is it just can't be all about Julio.
Right.
Like, if he has a superstar top 5 year and he looks like an MVP like he did in the second half of last season, then we can just sneak into the playoffs. And keeping in mind last year, they still didn't sneak in despite that fact. He needs help. He needs aircraft carriers around him. That's how most teams operate. There aren't many teams that rely so much on one player to have so much success. Sure, this has been a disappointing year, but yeah, I'm not too concerned. He's still super young. He's going to be there for a long time. One of the better athletes in the sport. Just think he got out of whack. I still do think he's pressing too often, for the most part, chasing more than you would expect him to. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that you look up, it's the 7th inning, they're down 2-0 again, and he feels like he has to be a hero. I just think there was a lot of that going on. So I do think the new group here with Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez is helpful for someone like him to simplify things. But really it comes down to the offseason of supporting him with much more than what they did this year. Like, there's no reason, I've been harping on this one, this is just an easy example to use. There's no reason that the Seattle Mariners weren't in play for Juan Soto. I get it, they disappointed us all when they didn't even make a run at Ohtani, and they should have, because I think he would have been interested in going there. But Juan Soto was a 1-year rental that could have helped them win a World Series if he was next to Julio in the lineup on a daily basis. They blew it. Like, they had better capital in terms of prospects to trade than the New York Yankees did, and they just didn't even make the play because they had to cut payroll.
That's interesting. that you say there's no reason they weren't in play for Juan Soto when out here in Seattle we feel like they should have been in play, but we couldn't imagine a world where ownership would actually make a move necessary to go get him. I'm looking at Victor Robles, man. How vital has he been to the Mariners this season, and do you think he can carry that over into next season?
I do. I mean, the league's going to adjust. So is he going to hit, 435 for a month and a half or something like that? No, of course not. But I do think that he can be a serviceable regular major league outfielder. Not a superstar in my mind, but a very solid all-around, whatever you want to call it, 3 to 5 win player in the big leagues that can be on a championship ball club. So I think that was a great pickup, a great find. He was someone that desperately needed a change of scenery from the Washington Nationals organization. He had fallen out of favor there. He had been there for a while. He was part of that 2019 team that won a World Series. But oozing with talent, a good comp to use here, just in terms of his storyline, is Jurickson Profar. Profar was once the top prospect in the sport, even above Bryce Harper. So the talent's always been there, and you're finally seeing it come to fruition for him in one of the best years that we've seen of any player this season, right? Like Profar is going to be, top 5 or 7 MVP for voting in the National League. Victor Robles was at one point, I think, either ranked higher or right next to Ronald Acuna Jr. when I was covering him in the Arizona Fall League. They're like, who's going to be better, right? So the talent's always been there. Seattle's helping it click. So I thought that was a great move to pick him up, great move to sign him to a longer-term, cheaper deal. And that's where I give a ton of credit to someone like Jerry Dipoto. He's got a system down where he's finding diamonds in the rough. About half the league's GMs do that really well, and half of them cannot figure it out. Jerry's on the good side of that. Like, he'll often, he'll find a reliever where you're like, who the heck's this? And then all of a sudden they're pitching high leverage innings. Seattle does that really well. So the problem is that they're just not able to go over the top to kind of push their chips in when they've been waiting for this moment for, quarter of a century to actually say, hey, like, we need to invest a little bit more in this team. We can win a damn World Series and start a legacy here. And they didn't do it. Like, the time, I kind of feels weird to say this, but I almost feel like the time has passed. Like, are we convinced they're going to be like, sure, let's up the payroll by $50 million this year to win a World Series next year? Because I hate to make it all about money, but that is how this game works. The Rangers pushed their chips in over the last few years to get Seager and Semien in and make a bunch of moves last year at the trade deadline, and we saw them win a World Series. That could be Seattle.
Just kind of 30 seconds here at the end, and then we'll get you out of here, Scott. But are there opportunities, maybe specific names? I know obviously Juan Soto is one of them. It just feels like that sweepstakes is going to be too rich for Seattle's blood. But is there a way to, in a single offseason, add some kind of firepower for Seattle?
Yeah, there is. It just sounds like it's going to have to be done via trade, which is always the case with Jerry because he's got to manage the budget so tightly. So, yeah, no, they're not even in the same stratosphere as Soto. That's why I was like, this was one season of Soto that you could have actually gotten and sold the fan base on. And if he leaves, he leaves. He goes to New York for $500 billion, like whatever. But, I do think there are players that they'll be able to look at and go after. But free agency just doesn't seem like a play. For the A-list free agents, it just doesn't seem like they're swinging those waters. So it's more likely that they actually will finally bite the bullet and trade one of these starters and get themselves back a bat or two. It's not an ideal scenario because I hate to say this, but like the chance that 5 or 6 starters that are in their prime that are this good are going next year is almost zero. They're going to lose 1 or 2 of these guys. So then if you trade one, we might have this conversation next year and be like, man, if only they had 1 or 2 more starters, they could win a World Series this year. Like that's how crazy and quickly the game can change.
He is Foul Territory host Scott Brun, kind enough to join us for a look at the AL wild card and also, of course, the Mariners offseason plans. Thanks so much, Scott. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you to you both. Great to catch up.
You too. Thanks. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. It's coming your way next.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We had a great plan going in, and we were able to adjust as the game went on. Gino played a tremendous, watching the tape again, I thought he played a tremendous game. DK had a great game. Jackson had a great game. I mean, you can just kind of go down the list. Offensive line protected well for the most part. I mean, there's some things we got to look at, but felt like we were the aggressor throughout the course of the game. And then just to finish it off the way that we did offensively.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
For over 111 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington. From the Space Needle in Seattle and now all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist you with any lighting issue, as well as help with intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting expert since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that works. And you want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, they were recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. If you qualify, get $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. AdvancedHair.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer in males. When detected early, it can be curable. Swedish CyberKnife offers a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer, typically requiring only 5 treatments. CyberKnife patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
This is Seattle Sports.
Dixon puts it down. Myers gets it away. The Seahawks win the game.
The home of the Seahawks.
Rick Riz here with a big thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program.
Thanks, Rick. This is Elisa with Pella Windows and Doors. With so many amazing entries, we decided to award 2 additional teams with $2,500 prizes. We are so excited to announce Warren Avenue Knights Pee Wee Football and Ferndale Cal Ripken Baseball.
Thanks to you and Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's!
Hey, Brock Heward, back again with my good friends at Tila Mortgage. And despite the difficult economy and higher rates, Tila's been working hard, helping people during these uncertain times. If credit card debts, car loans, or other payments are hurting your credit score and killing your cash flow, well, Tila can help you take control of your finances with programs like a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. Keep in mind that this powerful tool allows you to keep your low fixed-rate first mortgage in place while providing access to your home equity so you can consolidate those high-interest bills into one lower, more manageable payment. TILA's helped Washingtonians consolidate debts with HELOCs and refinance loans for over 25 years. They're also experts at purchase and reverse mortgages. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, TILA's committed to honest and ethical lending. Call TILA today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TILA Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, NMLS 2472046.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Any question you have, text it to the Mac and Jacks text line, 866-979-3776. You don't have to go sports if you don't want to. I am going to start with the sports one, though. What I need to know. What was more surprising in terms of a win? Arizona over the Rams, the Saints over the Cowboys, or the Vikings over the 49ers? For me, it was Arizona.
Vikings over 49ers.
Yeah.
Because I know Christian McCaffrey isn't there. You still got 100 yards out of Mason. You still have Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Fred Warner. I mean, that personnel-wise, that team is ready to go. Even though I'm a big supporter of Sam Darnold. I've been supporting him since day one. He finally got a squad. I don't know how well they'll do this year. I'm happy to see him ball out, but the 49ers losing it was crazy.
Yeah, that to me, because they had also proven that they could win without Christian McCaffrey, and that Minnesota team had the biggest question mark at quarterback. Yeah, keeping it simple. What I need to know, why did the Seahawks struggle so much in running screens on offense? Whenever I see other teams run screens, it amazes me how much yards after catch is gained compared to how minimal our yardage is.
You know, you tell me. It looks like it's all set up on those smoke screens. You got bodies on bodies. There was one where, maybe we're just not good on the smoke screens. We're not good at blocking as receivers because DK had a holding penalty. You got Lockett who got blown up. Jason ain't able to hold the blocks. And now when you go like delays and all that stuff with the tight ends or the running backs, it's all timing with the offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. There are things that just timing-wise don't add up.
What I need to know. You can only go to one. Which do you pick? Mariners Game 7 in the World Series, Seahawks in the Super Bowl, or Washington State in a national championship game?
Oh, I'm going to Washington State national championship game. Got to.
Yeah, I'm going to go Game 7 World Series for the Mariners.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, Super Bowl is also, I would love to watch the Seahawks in a Super Bowl. I've never heard someone that was like, I went to the Super Bowl and it was the best event I ever went to ever.
It's corporate as heck.
Yeah, it's just kind of, this halftime show is probably really fun.
There's a ton of security in a Super Bowl.
It's not. And
it's not easy to move around.
Well, and it's not like you have a crowd that's, 50-50 or it's like a Seahawks home team. Like, people aren't losing their minds the way that, the press box starts shaking if the Seahawks make a crazy play. I'll take Super Bowl tickets. I'll take them. What I need to know. If I bring a bottle to a friend's party and it doesn't get touched at all, can I take it home or do I got to leave it behind?
If it doesn't get touched, snatch it. Snatch it. It doesn't get touched, you snatch it. If it's open, even it's one drink, you leave it. Doesn't get touched, you snatch it.
No, leave
Obviously,
it.
nobody wanted it. If it's open, even one drink, you leave it.
Oh, if it's open, you do not touch it at all.
But if it's still the seal is still on it, you take it.
I leave it. I treat it as a host gift. Like, ultimately, I'm giving this to you for hosting this party. Yeah, I think I'm leaving it. I'm team leave it behind.
Well, hold on. Like, how close are we?
Let's say
you're
the
in
friend,
my circle.
So, yeah.
You're one of my boys. I'm snatching it.
Let's say, I don't know. I think I'd leave it.
Even if it's one of your toughest friends.
Yeah.
I mean, your closest friends.
Yeah, because I would treat it as like they presumably hosted whatever party this was and took time out to do whatever. Basically, I'm giving them $35 to host this party.
Homies. Hey, homie,
look,
if y'all ever come to one of my functions and you the close homie and we don't touch the bottle,
it's not inappropriate.
Take it.
Yeah, taking anything you bring to a party when it's been opened is kind of is weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird look,
yeah.
but I don't think it's like a cardinal sin to take it with you. I'm also not a big drinker, so I would usually bring it only as a gift, and I probably wouldn't even drink it. What I need to know. Week to week, will Jackson Smith-Njigba be as involved in the offense as he was yesterday, or will he be an inconsistent performer considering he was relatively quiet in week 1?
Here's the thing about receiver performance. It's contingent on a whole bunch of stuff, man. Like, you don't want him to be the guy every single week. Like, you want it to be spread out. You want the variety in the offense. It's not his job, or it's not he's not calling the plays. He's not calling the coverage on defense. Being a receiver is like an opportunistic type of thing. The coordinator has to design it for you, which he did this week. And because he designs it because he sees something in the defense that you can exploit. I would prefer that they took turns going for 100. If every single week we rotated 100-yard receivers, I'd be good with it.
Let's see also, unless a guy's like the only target, it's going to be inconsistent. Like, the reason Justin Jefferson is like the number 1 pickup for wide receivers typically, particularly if he had like his actual starting quarterback, is because they're going to feed him.
Yeah.
Like, there's not... How many other, maybe Jordan Addison, who is not playing right now, but like, how many other Vikings wide receivers do you know off the top of your head?
I know one.
Well, yeah, but you're an NFL analyst. All right, 866-979-3776. Bump, I will let you know the Mac and Jack's text line disagreeing with you. I think you got to leave it.
That's fine. I'm snatching it. If you're the homie and it's not open, I am taking it.
Did this game prove the Seahawks have the best trio of receivers in the league? I'm asking because they said Houston has the best last night.
I think Houston probably does have the best.
Yeah,
I would throw the Eagles up there as well. Can I say one more thing? Because I know we're going to be quick. Yo, I'm looking at X right now. And y'all UW fans, y'all are such crybabies right now.
Wow.
You guys dominate this series. Y'all talk so much crap. You walk around with your nose up, and you guys are literally crying in the comments. Just take the L for the year. Focus on your season. It'll be over tomorrow. Stop crying. It's ridiculous. You should be embarrassed.
All right, I'm going to let Bob have the final word
heck?
there. I think his Cougs earned it. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
John Morosi is here.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
Dan Wilson has come in. They at least have a winning record since he took over. And here we are. We're well past Labor Day, and we're still talking about the Mariners with a chance. They've got a chance. I'm not saying it's a good chance, but they've got a chance. And you're seeing meaningful baseball played in Seattle for yet another September. So I'm trying to be still at this point the optimist.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LFO1, LFO2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
It's the last days of summer and everyone's trying to squeeze in just a little bit more. It's Mike Salk here, and making the most of your summer could mean a road trip, camping, around a golf with some old friends, or that big home project, right? If a roof was on your checklist this year, now's the time to make it happen. The days are slowly getting shorter, the temperatures are starting to decrease, and the window is closing on getting that quick roof replacement. Worry not. You can still get it done with Riverside Roofing. Here's what you do. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. You'll be prompted with a quick quote, enter your information, and they'll give you a quote in less than 60 seconds. Do it right now. Putting it off any longer won't make it go away. It only makes it more difficult. So trust Riverside Roofing with your roof replacement. I did, and you should as well. They're also certified Tesla roof installers, so they can go that direction, and they'll use the catch-all system to protect your lawn. They're Master GAF Elite certified. You can find them online at riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.